Alpha, you look awfully tired. May I suggest you rest for the night? Alice says. I nod, making my way to my room. Everything in my room sways. I grab onto the armchair and sit down. Kicking my shoes off, I wait for the swaying to stop. My door creaks open. Is someone there? I ask, squinting at the figure I can barely make out. It's me, she says. Astrid, is that you? I ask. I try to stand. I struggle to get my balance. I feel a hand gently press against my chest. Sit down, Ryker. I'm here now. I'll take care of you, she whispers. She straddles herself on my lap. Astrid, you came back. Of course I did, she says as she slowly unbuttons my shirt. Why did you leave? Where did you go? I ask. All that matters is that I'm here with you. One of her hands caresses my bare chest, while the other unbuttons my jeans, unfastens my belt, and frees my growing bulge. Her lips brush across mine. Ryker, she whispers lustfully, placing my hands on either side of her thighs. Astrid, I whisper. She grinds herself over my member, increasing her pace and making me moan. I want you to mark me, Ryker, she whispers. Everything spins and sways, and I'm in an absolute stupor. All I can think of is the aching. I want to be inside her. I'm going to mark you first, she whispers seductively in my ear. Her teeth protrude and scrape the skin on my neck, before stopping. I feel the pressure as she is about to puncture my neck. Wait, Astrid can't shift yet. She can't mark me yet. Where's our usual heat? Sparks? I quickly push the person off me. Alpha, what's wrong? She asks. Vanessa, I ask, squinting to adjust my sight. No, it's Astrid, she says. Tucking my erection back in my pants, I try to stand. Vanessa, Astrid hasn't had her first shift yet. She can't mark me even if she wants to. I yell in anger and fall to the ground. What have you done to me? I yell, Ryker, please. Astrid is not coming back. I'm doing you and the pack a favor. She yells. I try to mind-link Leon and Kane, but I can't connect. Did you poison me? I ask. Not exactly, she says. I try to crawl to my door. I'm about to lose consciousness. I fall into darkness before I can get to it. He is too heavy, Mum. We can't even roll him, Vanessa says. I squint, letting my eyes adjust. I haven't moved from my spot on the floor. My head is pounding and nausea creeps over me. I mind-link Leon and Kane for help. I'm still groggy but can see a bit clearer. Quick, do it now, Vanessa, Alice yells, shoving Vanessa toward me. Vanessa straddles me and bares her fangs over my neck. I want to push her off, but Alice hits me across the head with a heavy object. Her fangs just pierce my skin when Leon and Kane barge in and pull her off me. Alpha, are you okay? Kane asks. They drugged me. Vanessa almost marked me. I yell, angered. You have waited too long for your Luna. Vanessa would be a more fitting Luna than that wretched little bitch Astrid. Alice yells. Standing, I lean against the wall for support. Bring Alice to me now, I snap. Leon has Alice's arms behind her back. He pushes her toward me. I grip her neck tightly with my hand. What did you do to Astrid? Where is she? I yell. Alice is struggling to breathe, but forces a smile at my words. I squeeze her neck tighter. I will kill you right now if you do not tell me, I warn. She struggles for breath and gives a small nod. I release my grip, only enough for her to speak. The morning she disappeared, she came into the kitchen for something to eat. No one else was up yet. I warned her to leave. I told her to save herself the heartbreak of the elders choosing Vanessa over her, and to leave. I threatened to kill her before her first shift if she didn't leave. My wolf growls ferociously in her face. I'm struggling to control it. As much as I want to see Alice dead, killing Alice won't bring Astrid back. I throw her across the room. Kane, Leon, take them both to the cells, where they will stay, I yell. I manage to get back into the armchair. Leon and Kane return a short while later with a jug of water and a glass. They place them on the table next to me. Alice must have drugged my food. I felt dizzy after eating it. I couldn't even stand up straight. Vanessa pretended to be Astrid and she seduced me. She wanted to mark me, I explain. Leon and Kane look at each other with worry. Alpha, you should rest in bed today until it wears off, Kane says. No, we need to find Astrid. Have any of you heard from Seth? I ask. No, we'll go into the city. We'll take over from him. You won't be much help, Alpha, in your condition, Leon says. Sculling 2 large glasses of water, I stand. I'm fine, I say, only to fall back into the armchair. Come on, Alpha, Leon says, grabbing one arm and Kane the other, lifting me over to my bed. Rest, Alpha. We'll mind-link you the moment we hear anything or find her. I'll get Haley and Mia to check on you throughout the day. Mind link them if you need anything, Kane says. They leave, and not long after that, I'm asleep. I wake that afternoon and mind link them. Any progress? I ask. I don't know how to tell you this, Alpha, but we haven't been able to mind link Seth or find him. He has gone AWOL. Kane links. Attempting to mind link Seth myself, nothing happens. Something must have happened to him. He wouldn't just disappear. He would have mind linked us. I link Kane and Leon. Keep searching for them both. Keep trying to mind link Seth. I will be in the city soon. And yes, I'm feeling much better, so I will be of use. We spend all night searching for Astrid and Seth. I don't understand. Astrid has vanished without a trace, and now Seth? What if someone is involved in their disappearance? Who? There are only 2 nights until Astrid shifts. I need to find her now. Returning home, I want to feel as close to Astrid as possible. I go into her room and look around. Her scent is strong on the couch. I lie on the couch and a few thoughts cross my mind. Astrid has been sleeping here instead of her bed. It smells strongly of vanilla and cookies. It explains why her bed looks as fresh as the day she got here. Why wouldn't she sleep in the bed? Drifting off to sleep on the couch, I dream of Astrid. I kiss her lips and look into her beautiful green eyes. Astrid, my mate. I am so blessed the moon goddess chose us to be together, I say. Ryker, I want to be by your side forever, she whispers, looking into my eyes. Before we can kiss, she disappears from my arms. Astrid, wait, come back, Astrid! I sit upright on the couch and look around the quiet room. It was just a dream. I stare at the floor, finding a business card. Zenith Creations. We were near that building yesterday. Why would Astrid be at Zenith Creations? How does she even know Alpha Zenith? That pack has always been bad news. I link Kane and Leon. Get the car ready. I think I know where Astrid is. I put the card in my pocket. Walking outside, I get in the car. Where are we going? Kane asks. Zenith Creations, I say. Kane and Leon give each other a look. What has Alpha Zenith got to do with Astrid? Kane asks. We're about to find out, I reply. Astrid, you need to eat, James says. I keep my eyes on the stone floor, completely ignoring him. I'm about to spend my second night in the cell. I refuse any food. I don't even acknowledge his presence when he comes down to the cell. He punches the cell door angrily. I flinch in fright and my eyes well up. Damn it, Astrid. Why can't you just be a good little mate and do what you're told? He yells. Hearing the sound of keys, the cell door unlocks and noisily creaks open. James picks me up and sits down on the bench, holding me tightly on his lap. I try to fight him off. I manage to scratch his cheek. He slaps me hard across the face and wraps his arms tightly around me so I can't move. His nose nuzzles my hair and sniffs the back of my neck. Astrid, I could make you so happy if you let me, he says. You would never think of Alpha Ryker again after I have had my way with you, he whispers. I wriggle and squirm. After your first shift, I plan on marking you straight away, he says. I stiffen at his words. I can promise you now, I will have you moaning by the end of the night, he says, nibbling my ear. Disgusted, I shake my head to free my ear. I shudder, repulsed by his advances. You may not like the thought of it now, but you will learn to love me, he says. I will never love you, James, so you better start getting that into your thick head. I yell, Finally, you speak, he says with a chuckle. 2 more nights and your wolf will be here. Perhaps I'll watch your first shift. He says. I'd rather you go jump off a cliff, I say. Now, he says, moving my hair away from my shoulder. He plants kisses along my shoulder. Stop, I yell and squirm. James lets out a sigh and places me on the bench. I will be back tomorrow to spend some more bonding time with you, he smiles. Looking away, I cross my arms in disapproval as he leaves the cell and locks the door. Good night, Astrid, he says, walking away. I lie down with my back facing the cell door, cradling myself. Tears form and roll down my cheeks. A few hours later, Amelia tiptoes softly downstairs. She lets out a sigh of relief when she sees James hasn't marked me yet. Alpha Zenith is going back into the city tomorrow for business. I'm assuming James and John will also be going. I'll look for the cell keys. I'll get you out of here, she says with a smile. Nodding, I'm hopeful her plan works. Through the gaps of the bars, I take her hand. Come with me, I offer. Amelia looks taken back. I can't leave. John and Zenith will hunt me down, she says sadly, looking away. Let them. Alpha Ryker and my pack will protect you, I assure her. I don't know if I could leave all the other pack members. I'd never be able to return. I'd never be able to see them again. She cries, "At least think about it until you find the key," I suggest. Amelia nods and gives me a small smile, leaves the cell, and retreats upstairs. Tired, I curl up on the cold bench and hug myself to keep warm. I'm playing hide-and-seek in the woods with Mum. She has long brown hair and green eyes. I watch her run through the trees. "Come on, Astrid, darling. It's your turn to find me," she says. Closing my eyes, I count to 30. My mum is very quick on her feet and can run twice as fast as anyone I know. She is strong, and she is kind. Strengths I greatly admire. She is the most loving mother I could ask for. She always tells me how special I am. I never believe her. I just figure she is biased because I'm her daughter. "When you're 18, you'll believe me," she says, smiling at me. Slowly, I wander through the trees, searching for her. I see rustling in the distance up ahead. "Found you!" I shout. I run toward the rustling, only to hear a growl. I freeze in place, stepping backwards in fear. Looking around, panic fills my body. I see movement in my peripheral vision. Mum has her index finger over her lips, motioning for me to keep quiet. I'm shaking with fear at this point. Mum points behind me. Turning around, I tiptoe quietly into the shrubbery she has pointed at. I lie very still. I'm flat on my tummy, with both hands over my mouth to conceal sounds of my breathing. A huge gray wolf wanders around, sniffing. It lets out a loud growl. I close my eyes in fear for a moment. I can hear the wolf walking toward me. I open my eyes. My mother has a look of fear on her face. She slowly shakes her head and holds her eye contact with me, motioning for me not to move. The huge gray wolf slowly walks past me. He is ragged and worn, and is even missing one of his ears. I've never seen such a ferocious animal. I tremble where I lay. The wolf sniffs around before emitting a vicious, blood-curdling growl. I scream in fear. The wolf turns, spotting me. I quickly stand and start running. The wolf gives chase until I hear my mother yell, "It's me you want!" The wolf stops chasing me and runs toward my mother. "Astrid, run!" she screams. I don't want to leave her. I run a small distance and climb a tree. I hear my mother's cries of pain. High up in the tree, I see my mother. Her body lies limp. I can see blood pooling beside her. "Mum!" I scream, at the top of my lungs, crying. The wolf circles her. His face is covered in the blood from her wounds. My dad is yelling in the distance. "Astrid!" "Daddy!" I scream. The wolf looks right at me. I'm terrified. He walks toward me like I'm his prey until the sound of a gunshot rings out. Bang! The wolf starts retreating. "Astrid?" My dad calls out again, this time much closer. Another shot rings out. Bang! "Dad, over here!" I scream. The wolf turns and runs, knowing Dad is approaching. When the wolf is gone, I climb down the tree. "Astrid!" "What's wrong? I heard your screams. Where is your mother?" he asks in a panic. "Wolf! Wolf! Wolf!" I cry, shaking in fear and sobbing. "A wolf?" Dad asks. I point toward Mum's direction. "The wolf got her dad," I say, bursting into tears. My dad's face pales. He grabs my hand and we wander cautiously toward my mother's body. My dad drops to his knees, lifts her head to his chest and cries, "My love, my sweet, beautiful love," he cries. I crawl over to my mother. I pick up her hand and hold it up to my face. I cry into her hand. We stay like this for a while until Dad is able to say something. "Astrid, you need to tell me exactly what happened," he says firmly. "We were playing hide and seek. It was my turn to find her. I thought I found her, but it wasn't her. It was a wolf. He growled and came out from behind the trees. Mum told me to hide in the shrubs. I lay over there as still as I could. I was so scared. I tried not to move, but the wolf came so close and scared me again with an angry, loud growl. I didn't mean to scream, Daddy. I was just so scared. The wolf chased me and I ran. Mum yelled for the wolf. She said it was her. It was after. She screamed for me to keep running. When I turned, the wolf was hurting her. I ran to that tree and climbed it. Then I screamed and you came here, I say, crying. Dad strikes my face and I fall backwards. I look up at him, horrified. I've never seen him look at me that way before. It's a look of pure hatred. My face stings. His fist is still shaking. "Daddy, you hurt me," I say, crying, placing my hand on my swollen cheek. Dad grabs me by the hair and drags me back toward our house. "Daddy, Daddy, what are you doing? Why are you hurting me?" I yell. "It's your fault she is dead. It's your fault the wolf killed her." If you listened to her, obeyed her, and stayed still, she would still be alive, he says, screaming in my face. Daddy, please, I didn't mean to kill her. Please, I didn't mean to. I'm dragged upstairs to my room and thrown against the wall. My dad slams my door closed, and for the first time I hear the sound of a key locking the door. Mum, I scream, sitting up. I'm drenched in sweat. I look around the cell and let my eyes adjust. My breathing is heavy and my heart races with panic. It was just a dream, the same dream I always have. Huddled in the corner of the dirty cell, I cry into my knees. I jerk my head up when I feel a presence. My eyes are red and puffy from crying and dark underneath with fatigue. Who's there? I ask, sniffling. Footsteps come closer. Alpha Zenith has a grin on his face. I glare at him. What do you want? I yell. You know very well what I want, he snaps back. I'm not letting James mark me. I sure as hell won't be his mate, I yell. His grin changes into a glare. Do you know you were screaming out for your mother before you woke up? He says. I look at the ground. What happened to her? He asks. None of your damn business, I yell. What if I told you I already know? He says, grinning again. I look at him confused. What would you say if I said I knew your mother? He asks. I don't believe you, I say, looking away again. Alpha Zenith. I'm going to tell you a story, Astrid, and you're going to listen to every single word, he says. I glare at him, but give him my full attention because I know he can make me listen if he has to, and I've been through enough. 22 years ago, Moonstone Crest was the strongest pack around. They hosted an annual mating ceremony where packs would be invited from all around the world to potentially find their mates. Unexpectedly, my pack, Shady Crest, was invited. My father was the alpha at the time and did not get along with the alpha of Moonstone Crest. My father was willing to put his hatred for Alpha Bane aside, though, as he was hopeful I'd find my mate there. I could finally take over as alpha if I did. We attended the mating ceremony, and it was a spectacular event. Not long after arriving, I smelled the most alluring scent I had ever smelled before, vanilla and honey. I followed the scent to no avail. I didn't understand why her scent kept disappearing. Surely she could smell my scent too, which would make her follow me. Confused, I told my father I could smell my mate, but couldn't find her. We spent most of the night searching for her. The scent finally led me to front of the Moonstone Crest pack house. I looked up to see the most beautiful girl I have ever seen, looking out the window. She is frightened when she sees me. Please, wait! I yell as she backs away from the window. She slowly reapproaches it, and we stare into each other's eyes. The world around us vanishes. It's as though only she and I exist. Nothing else matters. Mate, we both say. Our eyes turn black, then silver for a moment, and go back to our normal colors. Please come down so we can meet properly, I say, smiling. She shakes her head no. I'm sorry, I can't, she says in her sweet voice. I give her a confused look. But we're mates. Surely you can come down so we can talk? And maybe have a dance? Her beautiful green eyes were like emeralds. Her long brown hair blows in the wind. You don't understand. Mate bond or not, my father would never let me be with the future alpha of Shady Crest. She is crying. Confused with her words, I ask her, what's wrong with being future Luna of Shady Crest? She tells me, your father has tarnished the pack's name with his wicked ways and his treatment of his pack. He kidnaps and hunts humans for sport, she says. Why should my father's ways affect me and my mate? I ask, becoming angry. My father will make me reject you regardless of how good or bad your heart is. I'm sorry, she explains tearfully. We can figure this out, my love. Please just come down. I will speak to your father. I will tell him. I will show him that I will treat you like a queen, I beg her. She continues to wipe tears from her face and shake her head no. If you won't come down here, I will come up there to you, I tell her, breaking the front door down. I run upstairs and push her bedroom door open. I march over to her, but she has so much sadness in her eyes. Leaning over her, I hold her chin in my hand. The chemistry between us is strong. I lean my head down to brush my lips against hers. I cup her face in my hands, and she places her hands on my chest. Our lips meld together with intense passion. It feels so right and so good. Our lips finally part, and she bursts into tears. My sweet love, who is your father? I ask. She looks away. Alpha Bane of Moonstone Crest, she whispers. In shock, I take a step back. You're Alyssa, the daughter of Alpha Bane? I say. She looks up into my eyes and nods. I pull her into my chest, letting her cry. I stroke her hair to comfort her. Our fathers are the greatest of enemies. There has to be a way for us to be together, I say. Come, Alyssa, take my hand. Let us go to the dance. If everyone sees us happy together, maybe our fathers will approve of us. We need to at least try, my love, I say. Alyssa nods. We smile at each other, and we walk hand in hand to the dance. All eyes are on us, in shock, as we walk in. Everyone stares, not expecting us to be paired by the moon goddess. We dance among the others. There are sparks flying between us. Alyssa's smile brightens the room. We stare lovingly into each other's eyes. What is the meaning of this? Get away from my daughter now. Alpha Bane yells across the room. Everyone gasps and stands aside to let Alpha Bane through. Alyssa clings to my coat and looks up at me, her beautiful green eyes well with tears. Alpha Bane, it's a pleasure to meet you, I say, most respectfully bowing my head. Alyssa, come here now. He snaps. Dad, it's okay. Zenith is my mate, she says with a nervous smile for her dad. Alpha Bane's face pales instantly. No, the moon goddess would not be so cruel to mate you with the lowest of packs, the most hated pack in the world, he yells. I stiffen at his words. Alpha Bane, please. I can assure you, Alyssa is my mate, and I'm so honored to accept her as my mate. I know you and my father don't see eye to eye, but I'm interrupted. See eye to eye? Your father murders humans for fun. He beats his pack members. He is the only alpha known to keep pack members as slaves. He is sick and twisted, Alpha Bane yells. Enough, my dad yells and steps forward, out of the crowd. He looks at Alyssa, clinging to me with tears in her eyes, with my arm around her waist, holding her tightly. My dad chuckles at the situation. Who would have thought? My son, blessed with your daughter, he chuckles. The moon goddess must surely hate you, Alpha Bane, to make you share grandpups with me. Dad chuckles. Dad, this is a blessing for me and Alyssa. You need to keep your taunts to yourself, I yell at him. My dad growls at me for disrespecting him in front of all the packs. Alyssa, you are to reject Zenith right now, Alpha Bane orders. Alyssa and I both flinch at his order. We stare into each other's eyes. I shake my head no. I plead with Alyssa not to do it. She doesn't want to reject me. She wants to accept me. Now, Alpha Bane yells, making her jump. You wouldn't dare make her reject my son. My father yells at Alpha Bane. Alpha Bane grabs Alyssa by the wrist and pulls her to him. Alyssa, you listen to me now. You deserve better. You deserve to be with the best alpha out there. Do you really think you are going to have a happy life in that pack house? He yells. He forcefully turns Alyssa around by her arms. Do it now or you will be known as a traitor to this family. Do you want your mother living with that reputation? Alyssa is crying. She shakes her head no. Forgive me, Zenith. Please forgive me. I, Alyssa Moonstone, reject you, future Alpha Zenith of Shady Crest, as my mate. I'm crippled with severe pain in my chest like my heart has been ripped out. I look up to see Alyssa in the same pain, gripping her chest. Everyone gasps and watches on in horror. Rejecting mates is extremely rare. Most would never witness a rejection in their lifetime. The mating ceremony is over. Everyone, go home, Alpha Bane yells. He still has his hands around Alyssa. He is pulling her away toward the pack house. I want to run to her, but my father grabs me and holds me back. You will pay for this, Alpha Bane. I swear to the moon goddess, you will pay, I yell. 4 months pass. My father and I organize our warriors to wipe out the Moonstone pack so I can free Alyssa and bring her home with me where she belongs. We have it all planned out. We would trespass onto Moonstone Crest the night of Alpha Bane's birthday celebrations, discreetly killing guards and warriors one by one. The celebrations would be in the great hall where the mating ceremony was held. Once I found Alyssa, I would lure her away from the hall. My warriors would close all the doors to the hall, barricading them. The warriors would pour fuel outside the hall and block the doors, then ignite a fire. Alpha Zenith. The moment I see Alyssa, my heart begins to race. I watch her for a while and notice she doesn't seem sad or depressed. Not the way I have been, every moment I've been away from her. She is laughing and dances with everyone. She even clings to her dad's arm, kissing him on his cheek. I don't understand. Why isn't she upset or angry at him? Why does she look so happy? I thought there had to be a good explanation. Alyssa walks over to the food table and plucks some grapes and strawberries from a fruit bowl and eats them. Alyssa, I whisper. She stops herself from reaching for another strawberry and looks around. Alyssa, I whisper again. She looks around to see me hiding in the garden, her lips part in shock. She scans her surroundings to see if anyone is watching her, then looks back to me. I gesture for her to walk over to me. She is very hesitant and is debating whether to approach me or not. She bites her lip and gives me a small nod to say she will come to me. She looks around again and discreetly leaves the hall. My warriors are watching me from their hiding spots, waiting for the signal to shut and seal the doors to set the hall alight. As soon as Alyssa approaches, I pull her into my chest and hold her tight. Although I can't feel the sparks or the bond because of the rejection, I don't mind. The moon goddess gave her to me, and I knew I would always love her no matter what. Zenith, what are you doing here? She asks, pushing me away. I've come to save you. I've come to take you away from here, to be my mate and my Luna. I smile. Alyssa takes a step back. Zenith, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to tell you, she says sadly. You don't have to thank me, Alyssa. We can be together. Your father will never be able to stop us this way. I say, smiling down at her. She looks at me confused. Zenith, I rejected you. We can't be together. I need you to understand that. I'm to be mated with Alpha Axton from the Justice Pack in a few days' time, she says. Angry at her words, I let out a growl. No mate of mine will be mated off to another. My wolf is angry and is trying to shift. My eyes are black from her words. Zenith, we no longer have the bond. You need to move on for your family's sake and for your sake. I really like Alpha Axton. My father thinks they will be the next strongest pack. My family want me to mate with him. I also want to be with Alpha Axton, she says. No, I say, deeply and firmly. Alyssa flinches and stares into my wolf's eyes. She steps backwards and her eyes well. I can sense she is about to run. I signal the warriors to shut and seal the doors. Before she can run, I throw her over my shoulder. You're coming home with me where you belong, I say. Screams erupt from the hall. People bang on the doors in need of escape. Alyssa screams in horror when she realizes what I'm doing. She kicks and punches with all her might until I drop her to the ground. She tries to run to the hall to open one of the doors to free everyone. Grabbing her again, I hold her tightly in my arms. I sit a distance away from the hall, but close enough to feel the heat radiating from the flames. I hold her in my lap and stroke her hair. She cries and screams. I tell her we can be together and I'll make a new hall for her at Shady Crest. The screams stop and the hall collapses. Smoke billows around us. My father approaches, smiles, and looks down at Alyssa, who is distressed. Welcome to the family, sweetheart, he says. Alyssa spits at him. He slaps her across the face. I let go of Alyssa and stand. Don't ever slap my mate, I snap at him. He smirks and looks past my shoulder. Alyssa stands there shaking in anger. You killed my father. You murdered my whole pack, she screams. She punches my chest over and over in anger. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you, she screams. My father was only trying to protect me from men like your father. She yells. I'm not like my father, I say in shock. You just let my father and an innocent pack burn. Children, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. You murdered them all. You are worse than your father. She screams. My heart sinks at the truth in her words. Alyssa, it isn't meant to be like this, I say. I will never be your mate, Zenith. Not now, not ever. You've murdered my family and my pack. I'm leaving, and I'm going to be with Alpha Axton, whether you like it or not. She yells, crying. She shifts into her wolf and runs to the woods. Her wolf is very large, with pure white long fur, almost the size of an alpha wolf. Moonstone Crest is the only pack to have pure white wolves, their descendants from the moon goddess. I'm angry, and I chase after her. I will find you, Alyssa, and you will be my mate. Or you can choose to die. I yell before shifting into my wolf. Her wolf is faster than mine. I can't catch her. I let out a long, loud, heartbroken howl and return to the warriors and to my father, who I'm furious with. It was his idea to kill the entire pack. I should not have listened to him. My dad laughs. I'm growling and snapping at him. Wanting justice, I challenge him. The warriors gasp, knowing a challenge is a fight to the death. My dad accepts the challenge and shifts into his wolf. Being alpha, he is larger than my wolf, but his age is his weakness and my advantage. Lunging at my father, we roll, taking swipes at each other and biting into our flesh as soon as there is opportunity to do so. Blood splatters onto the warriors as they watch on. With my jaw on my father's throat, I spend no time at all ripping his head off. I immediately grow larger and come into my power, letting out a loud howl to announce myself as the new alpha. I have many wounds and my ear has been bitten off. I shift back into human form, with my ear mostly gone. I return to the pack house as the new alpha. My search for Alyssa and her pack spans months and then years. In the meantime, I accept Alice as my chosen mate. She has a crush on me. We eventually have a daughter, Vanessa, and 2 twin sons, James, followed by John. I'm a ruthless alpha and often lose my temper. I never stop searching for Alyssa. Years later, I find out the Justice Pack has been wiped out, with only the Luna, Alyssa, escaping. She is with child, carrying Alpha Axton's baby. After being in 2 packs that were both wiped out, she wants to live in the civilized world. She can't bear the thought of raising her baby in the werewolf lifestyle. She moves to the city, where she meets a human who falls deeply in love with her. They buy a house together near the woods. She loves nature, and being a wolf, she shifts secretly and goes for runs in the woods. Her human lover doesn't know what she and the baby truly are. He loves her so much, her daughter knows only him as her dad. She wants her daughter to have a wolf-free life for as long as possible, to protect her from the danger and ruthlessness of it all. Once her daughter turns 18, shifting into a wolf is inevitable. Alyssa has every intention of telling her about her wolf DNA just before her 18th birthday. When her daughter is around 7, and my son's not much older, I find out where they're living. The house emits sweet giggles. In the woods, I hear Alyssa's voice. "Come on, Astrid, darling. It's your turn to find me. Although I can't see you, I know you're hiding somewhere. Sniffing around, I catch your scent. Maybe if I growl, I can scare you into moving. And it works. I knew chasing you would make her come out. It's me you want," she yells. She knew it was me. She knew I would never stop looking for her. I run toward her and lunge at her. My teeth sink into her neck while I shake her around like a rag doll, and the color fades from her face, and she becomes lifeless. Once I know she is dead, I consider killing you, up in the tree too, until I hear the gunshots. I have achieved my goal, killing your mother for leaving me for Alpha Axton. I decide to keep an eye on you over the years. I know your stepfather isn't treating you well. It makes me happy knowing it would have made your mother miserable. My pack run differently from other packs. I don't want to go along with the whole fated mate shindig. I decide to match people with mates who increase the strength of the pack. Vanessa, pretending to be a victim, is sent to Shadow Crest with the mission to mark and mate Ryker, one of the strongest alphas around besides myself. Alice is stubborn, though, and doesn't want to leave Vanessa, so I send them both and keep in contact with them daily. Alice spends the odd night here with Shadow Crest none the wiser. Knowing you are of Moonstone Crest and Justice DNA means you are a very strong wolf with rare genes, and most likely a pure white wolf who would breed strong pups with my son. Amelia is an alpha's daughter too, who with a dowry was gladly handed over to be mated with John. Love no longer matters. It doesn't matter if the moon goddess gives you a mate or not. There is always a chance you'll be rejected and left for someone else, regardless of how strong the bond is. I learned power is stronger than love that night. That's what I taught my pack. It's less heartbreaking to choose a mate who will benefit you and the pack. A fated mate's rejection is gut-wrenching. My kids agree. I killed the boys' fated mates. They were weak omegas. Can you believe that? Omegas matched to future alphas. I killed Vanessa's mate too. He was the weakest wolf I had ever seen, more mutt than wolf. And now, here you are, the day before your 18th birthday, about to be marked and mated with my eldest son. How did it go? Oh yes, welcome to the family, sweetheart. Astrid, in utter shock. I can't believe what Alpha Zenith has just told me. He is my mother's true mate and murderer. Full of anger, I stand, run to the cell door, and shake the bars with fury. You killed my mother? You killed her, I yell. Alpha Zenith smiles. Yes, I killed the bitch. After everything I did for her, I gave her a chance to reunite with me and she threw it away like I was nothing. He yells. You killed her whole family. You murdered them all in cold blood. She didn't want to be with a monster. I yell. The look on Alpha Zenith's face changes from a smile to aggression. He unlocks the cell door and grabs me by the throat, holding me against the cold stone wall. What did you call me? He growls, squeezing my throat tighter. I try to loosen his hands from my throat. I can't breathe. Black dots appear in my vision, and he loosens his grip and speaks. Call me a monster again, Astrid, he warns, boring into his eyes with mine. I know he will kill me if I call him anything again. I shake my head in defeat. That's what I thought, he says, dropping me to the ground. Tears stain my face, and I'm gasping for oxygen. Pathetic, he says, staring down at me before smirking and walking away. I feel like I am going to explode. A cocktail of emotions swarms through me after all of the new information about my mother, my father, and the pack I come from. I stand, grab the sides of my head, and let out the loudest, frustrated scream. James comes running down the stairs. Astrid! What's wrong? He asks, concerned. What's wrong? What's wrong? I repeat in disbelief at his dumb question. I'm locked down here in a cold, dirty cell, forced to be your mate. Your father murdered my mother. He wiped out her whole pack. I want to be with Ryker, where I am supposed to be, and you have the audacity to ask me what is wrong. I yell. James looks away. Did you know that your father killed my mother? Did you know he murdered a whole pack? I yell. James looks at me in silence for a moment. Yes, I know. The whole pack knows. That's why most pack members are afraid to disobey him. They know he'll kill them in the blink of an eye. They all know you're Alyssa Moonstone's daughter, the only werewolf left from Moonstone Crest. Why do you think everyone was so excited to meet you when you arrived? He asks. I hate you, I say, in a low voice. James stiffens and glares at me. Look, I need to go help Dad in the office today. When I return, I will come see you, he says. I'd prefer you never come near me again, I retort. James crosses his arms in anger and goes upstairs. Hours pass. I'm guessing it's late afternoon. It's hard to tell with no windows down here. I wonder if Amelia had any luck finding the cell key. To entertain myself, I throw small stones between the bars of the cell door, missing half the time. Suddenly, I hear yelling and cries close by. I see light on the stairs as the door opens. Amelia is shoved down the stairs and cries out as she stumbles and falls. Please, John, I'm sorry, she says. Don't waste your apologies on me. Save them for the Alpha, he yells. He stomps heavily across the stone floor, grabbing Amelia by the hair and dragging her into the cell next to mine. He throws her in and slams the cell door shut. Amelia, I shout. We look at each other. Her eyes are red and puffy from crying. She has a few small bruises on her neck. Astrid, I'm sorry, she cries, looking away. I caught my little mate, Amelia, here, rummaging through my father's things and forced her to confess what she was looking for, John says, smirking. You were supposed to be at work today, Amelia yells at John. I was, but came home early. We had some issues with Ryker from Shadowcrest we had to take care of. I was sent home to prepare the warriors, just in case Ryker tries to break in and rescue his dear Astrid, John says. Ryker is looking for me? I ask excitedly. How did he know to go to Zenith Creations? He must have found the business card. I must have dropped it in my room. Don't get too excited, sweet cheeks, John says. His beta Seth and others found your scent in the city, but lost the trail until later on. Seth broke into our underground car park after picking up your scent again. We have pack warriors on patrol nightly. Seth was caught, as you know, and has been in the basement ever since. We only let him out to interrogate him and beat the shit out of him, John laughs. Wait, that guy you beat the other day was Seth? I ask, in shock. Sure was, he chuckles. You're a bastard, you know that, John? I yell, glaring at him. Yep, I know it, and I like it, he laughs. What has Alpha Zenith told Ryker? I ask, needing more information. He told him you begged him for temp work to skip town, so we gave you work for a few days, paid you cash, and you left, he smiles. Did he believe it? I ask. I don't know. Hence why James and I came back to the house to prepare in case he does decide to trespass and search for you both. Anyway, I'm sure your soon-to-be mate, James, will be coming to see you shortly. Alpha Zenith should be back soon, too. It will be interesting to see what Amelia's punishment is for trying to help you escape, he says with a smirk. John leaves Amelia and I crawl over to her on my hands and knees on the stone floor and reach out to her. She is shaken and petrified, as am I. Amelia, look at me, I whisper. Amelia slowly looks up at me with her pretty brown eyes. I won't let anything happen to you, okay? I promise. Astrid, there is nothing you can do, she says, wiping tears from her face. Ryker will save us. He is coming to save me. I just know it, and you will come home with us, I say reassuringly. I hope you're right, she sobs. Moments later, Alpha Zenith enters the cells, dragging Seth down the stairs. A calico bag is over his head and he isn't moving. His wrists are cuffed. Seth, I yell. Yell all you want. He is knocked out good. Alpha Zenith laughs as he drags Seth to a cell opposite mine and throws him in like a bag of potatoes. Why the hell are you in here, Amelia? He growls. Amelia bursts into tears, frightened. Ah, fuck it. I've got more important shit to deal with right now, he snaps, stomping off. Amelia and I stay huddled up to each other, despite the bars between us. It must be nightfall when James comes down the steps. He unlocks my cell door, not saying a word. He stares intently at me the whole time. He pulls me away from Amelia. Don't touch me! Get your hands off me! I yell, trying to slap his face. He pins my wrists between us, holding them tightly. I wish I could mark you right now, Astrid, he whispers in my ear. Shuddering at his words, I recoil from him. I look forward to your first shift tomorrow night. Ever since Ryker showed up looking for you, I haven't been able to stop thinking of you. Thinking of him taking you from me is not good, he says. I belong with Alpha Ryker, not you. You'll be sorry when he finds me, I yell. James glares and pushes me harshly against the bars. You are mine, and I'll claim you as mine after your first shift. I'll make sure you're bearing my pups by the end of the night, he growls. I will never mate with you. I would rather die than bear your pups, I yell. James strikes my face and I fall to the ground. Astrid, Amelia cries out. James storms out of the cell, locking it behind him. I'm okay. I'm sorry you had to see that, I say. Astrid, we need to get out of here, Amelia cries. I know, I say, looking away. Seth sits up. Seth! He raises his wrists to his face to take the calico bag off his head. He spends a few moments squinting before his eyes adjust. Astrid? He wonders. Yes, it's me. Seth, I'm so glad you're awake. I was so worried. Where are we? He is groggy and disoriented. We're in the cells underneath the Shady Crest pack house. Who is that? He asks, nodding to the cell next to mine. Who is Gao? Amelia. She tried to help me escape, but she got caught. She is John's chosen mate, I explain. Why would anyone have a chosen mate? He asks. Alpha Zenith doesn't want his children or pack members to be with their true mates. He killed all their mates, Vanessa's, James and John's. He says they were weak omegas. He wants only high-ranking, strong werewolves. He wants them to breed stronger pups to make the pack stronger. Amelia is an alpha's daughter from another pack. He bought her to breed with John. He is trying to force me to mate with James after my first shift tomorrow night, I explain. The look on Seth's face says it all. You are Alpha Ryker's mate. You are my Luna. You can't mate with James, he yells. We need to think of a way to escape before I shift. Otherwise, we just have to hope Ryker saves us, I admit. Seth and Amelia nod in agreement. We spend the rest of the evening devising a plan. Alpha Ryker. We arrive in the city and park outside Zenith Creations, enter the facility and find an elevator. The elevator door dings and opens. We step out and spot a large door. We enter. It's quite a modern, sleek waiting room. It even has a water feature on one of the walls. I approach the large desk to see a blonde receptionist on the phone. Leaning on the desk, I tap my fingers impatiently. She raises a perfectly shaped brow at me. I take the phone from her and throw it behind her. Excuse me, she says. That was a very important client on the phone. She yells. I don't give a shit who was on the phone. Where's Zenith? I want to speak with him immediately. I yell. She picks up a phone and presses a button. There is a very rude man here with two other men wanting to speak with you immediately, she says. She covers the mic on the phone with her nail-polished hand. What is your name? She asks. Alpha Ryker, I snap. Alpha Ryker, sir. Yes, okay, I will send them in, she tells Alpha Zenith. She puts the phone down and stands. Follow me, please, she says. We're escorted to the middle door a few meters behind her desk. Alpha Zenith sits in a large chair behind a desk with two bodyguards. Alpha Ryker, what an unexpected surprise to see you here. Please sit, he says with a smile. No, we will stay standing. Where is she? I ask. Where is who? Zenith asks. Placing my hand in my pocket, I pull the card out and slam it onto his desk. My mate, Astrid. I know she is here. We can smell her scent. Zenith pauses and stares at the business card. I found this card in her room after she ran, I say. Yes, she was here, but only for a few days. She asked me for a few days' work to skip town. I didn't question her. I saw a young girl in need of help, so I helped her. I gave her a job and she left, Zenith explains. You're lying, I yell. Zenith puts his hands in the air. Look, believe me or don't believe me, I really don't care. I don't know why you're bothering to find her. If she doesn't want to be with you, maybe you should let her be, he suggests. She only left because some of your old pack members threatened to kill her if she didn't, I growl. Zenith has a poker face, and his two men give each other a look. And which old members would they be? Zenith asks. Alice and Vanessa. But not to worry, they're currently locked up awaiting punishment. I notice the two men give each other another look, then glare back at me. And what will their punishment be? Zenith asks calmly. I'll have them killed and their heads ripped off for threatening my Luna and my mate, I say, lying. Zenith glares for a split second. I see, he says, his fists clenched. I suppose you haven't seen my missing beta Seth either? I ask, expecting another denial. I can smell Seth's scent in the room. He has been here as well. No, we haven't, but I will let you know if Astrid contacts me if you like, he says. I glare at him. He is the worst liar I have ever met. I would appreciate that. You're Beta and Gamma, I ask, looking at the two men. These are my sons, James, the future Alpha of Shady Crest, and John, he says. James is glaring at me as though he despises me and wants to rip my head off. John is smirking. I'm sure we will be seeing each other again soon, I say, leaving, Kane and Leon following behind. Out of the elevator, we go straight to the car. He is lying, I say. We figured as much, Kane says. I can smell Seth's scent. He has been there, I point out. What's our next move? Leon asks. Let's get back home and make a plan. We will need all our warriors, I say. We arrive at Shadow Crest a short while later. Leon, get the maps of Shady Crest from the library. Kane, bring Mia and Haley here. They both nod and leave. Leon returns a short time later with a couple of scrolls he hands to me. Alpha Ryker, Mia says as she enters the room, Kane and Haley behind her. Please tell me you found them, she says, hopeful. I shake my head. No, but I can confirm they were both at Zenith Creations at some point. Their scents were faint but were there. Alpha Zenith denied seeing Seth, but did say Astrid worked for him for a few days before leaving, with enough money to skip town. He has them, he's lying. We gather around the high table and roll out the map showing Shady Crest in detail. I think they're in his house. They're not exactly going to let us have a look around. The only way in is if we trespass and declare war. The girls gasp. If we go to war and some of our pack dies, Haley says, grabbing Kane's arm tightly. No one has to die, I reassure her. How so? Leon asks, confused. When we were in the office today, I mentioned Vanessa and Alice as the reason Astrid fled. I told him they would be punished by death. Zenith tried to hide it, but it was obvious he and his sons weren't happy about it. We need to find out why he doesn't want Alice and Vanessa hurt. Leon, wake a few warriors and bring them here for questioning. Leon nods and leaves the room. Leon returns with warriors who are dragging Alice and Vanessa into the room. They sit them on a chair next to each other. Alice spits at my feet as I approach. That isn't very nice, Alice, I say. She lets out a deranged laugh. Tell me, what are you to Shady Crest? What are your rankings? I ask. Alice glares at me, remaining silent. Vanessa stares into my eyes with sadness. Why couldn't you just love me like I loved you? She cries. Kneeling down in front of her, I lean in closer. What are you to Alpha Zenith? I ask, glaring at her. Vanessa recoils from me and looks away. You will answer me, or Mia here will convince you to talk. I motion for Mia to step forward, and she cracks her knuckles, giving Vanessa a death stare. I'm his daughter, she confesses. I could have heard a pin drop. Vanessa, Alice growls at her. You're Alpha Zenith's daughter? That makes Alice the Luna of Shady Crest. You said you were abused, the pack slaves. Why did you come here if you're the Luna and you're his daughter? I ask, half questioning, half wondering. Vanessa, keep your mouth shut. Alice snaps. Leon, take Alice back to her cell, I order. Once Alice is gone, I grab Vanessa by the chin. Tell me everything you know now, I demand. My father, Alpha Zenith, sent me here to become Luna and bear your pups. He killed my true mate. Dad said my mate was weak and his children would only breed with the best. Knowing you were mateless and one of the strongest alphas around, he told me to seek refuge here, with the intent of us sleeping together. The irony is, the moment I met you, I instantly had a crush on you. It was all too easy to fulfill Dad's wishes. Do you know where Astrid is? I ask. Vanessa looks away. Please, Vanessa, she's my mate. I love her. Tell me and your punishment will be lenient, I compromise. Vanessa looks at me. My eyes are glassy. I'm only going to tell you, Ryker, because I love you and I want you to be happy, she says, tears rolling down her cheeks. She is at Shady Crest, she confesses. I knew it. Seth's there too, I growl. Wait, there is something you should know. My brother James plans on marking her and sleeping with her tomorrow night after her shift, she says. Angry, I growl loudly at her words. No wonder he wanted to rip my head off when I saw him today, I ponder. Leon, Kane, let's go over the map and work out the best strategy to defeat Zenith and his pack. Get the warriors prepared. Tomorrow evening we start a war. I declare, Happy birthday, Amelia says as I wake. Happy birthday, Luna, Seth cheers. I can't help but laugh. Who would have thought I'd be celebrating my 18th in a cold, dirty cell? I chuckle. Seth and Amelia laugh. We go silent, and my eyes well up again. Astrid? Amelia says, concerned. I'm terrified. I'm meeting my wolf tonight. What if Ryker doesn't save us in time? What if James forces himself on me? I ponder, crying. Let's see if I can mind-link Alpha Ryker. James and John injected wolfsbane into me. It weakened me and hindered our connection. Seth says. We watch on as he concentrates, his eyes clouding over. Is it working? Seth nods. I've gotten through to Alpha Ryker, he says. I run to my cell door, hold the bars, and partially squeeze my head through them. Tell him I'm sorry. Tell Ryker I am so sorry. I should not have left. I didn't want to leave. I yell, desperately. He says he knows. Vanessa confessed everything. Did you know Alice poisoned him so Vanessa could mark and mate him? Seth says, I gasp. Please tell me she didn't, I ask in tears. No, Kane and Leon were there just in time. They're both in the cells now. I relax with relief. He knows we're here. He will be here tonight with the warriors to free us, he says. Please tell him. I miss him, and I just want to be with him again, I say, wiping tears from my face. Seth nods before blushing. He says he can't wait to hold you in his arms and taste your sweet lips, Seth smirks. I giggle and blush in response. So, we just have to wait it out until tonight, I guess, I say. Seth nods. I can't help but smile and hug myself. I start jumping up and down. I'm going to see Ryker tonight, I say with excitement. Seth and Amelia smile at seeing me so happy and excited. My joy is short-lived when John and James come marching down the stairs, smirking. John unlocks Amelia's door and drags her out. No, John, please, where are you taking me? Amelia cries. Let her go, I shout. He slaps her across the face. Stop fighting me. Alpha is ready for you. The longer you make him wait, the more lashes you'll receive, he snaps. Don't you dare touch her, I yell. Or what? He yells. I'll rip your head off the moment I shift if you lay a finger on her. John glares at me. James, I think you need to put your bitch in her place, he says. John is still dragging Amelia up the stairs, kicking and screaming. James enters my cell. He steps forward and I step back until I'm up against the wall with nowhere else to go. He cups my cheek with his hand. Tonight we become one and you become mine, he whispers in my ear. He presses his body against mine, pinning me against the wall and kisses my neck. I try to fight him off, but he has my hands pinned above my head. Get off my Luna now, Seth growls. James pauses with annoyance and turns to Seth. Astrid is my Luna and my mate. I will do as I please with her, so if I was you, I would shut your trap before I come in there and rip your head off. James proceeds to kiss my neck and press himself against me. I can feel his excitement against my stomach. Please, stop, I yell. Stop? I thought we could skip waiting and do it now. We can always do it again later tonight after I mark you, he says, dead serious. His fangs protrude. He scrapes them across my shoulder. I kick him in the shin as hard as I can, and he steps back in pain. I make a fist and punch him with full force in the face, giving him a black eye. You little bitch, he snarls. I want to punch his face again, but he catches my fist in his hand, twists my arm behind my back, and locks me in a hold so I can't move. You have become rather feisty, Astrid. You're not as weak as you used to be, but that can be fixed, he says, shoving me into the stone bench and locking the cell door behind me. Tonight, I won't be so lenient, Astrid. I suggest you get used to the idea of being my mate. He yells as he walks upstairs. Astrid, are you okay? Seth asks. I start crying. I just want to get out of here. I just want to be with Ryker, I cry. I know, Luna. I know. I would do anything to have Mia in my arms right now, too, he says, sadly with a smile. John comes downstairs in a bad mood with a tray of food. His face is covered in deep scratches. Where's Amelia? I yell. He drops the tray of food on the ground, not caring that half of it rolls off into the dirt. The little cow went psycho, scratching the shit out of my face and ran off. But we have pack warriors spread out everywhere in case Ryker shows up. So it's only a matter of time till she's caught and brought back here. We will be seeing you tonight for your first shift, he says with a smile. Who is we? I ask. Alpha Zenith, myself, and your mate James, he says. I glare at him. It's starting to get dark, so I will see you soon, he says, slinking off. Seth and I look at each other in a comforting silence for a while before the door is opened and light shines in. Amelia is screaming. John drags her down the stairs and throws her into the cell next to mine. Amelia, are you okay? I ask. She nods. You're lucky Ryker and his warriors have entered our territory, otherwise you would be getting far worse than lashes, Amelia. John yells. Ryker is here? I ask. Yes, but not to worry. Our warriors are prepared. James says he will gift you with Ryker's head as a mating gift, he says with a chuckle. If you hurt Ryker, I will kill you, I scream. We will see, John says, walking away. Amelia, what happened? Are you hurt? I ask. I wait for Amelia to catch her breath. They were going to give me 20 lashes. John tried to tie me up. I scratched his face as hard and as deep as I could. Then I shifted into my wolf and ran as fast as I could. I got away, but there are pack warriors spread out everywhere. I hid for as long as I could to evade them. I was caught by 2 of them. They brought me back here to be lashed, but Alpha Zenith says it will have to wait. Alpha Ryker and his men have been spotted entering our territory, she says with sadness. I'm glad you aren't hurt, Amelia. I'll mind link Alpha Ryker and let him know that Alpha Zenith is aware he's here, Seth says. He says they've brought Alice and Vanessa with them in hopes of exchanging them for us. Suddenly, a surge of pain rips through my body. I cry out in pain and roll across the cold stone floor. Luna, Seth yells. It hurts! It hurts! Make it stop! I cry. Shit! You're shifting! Seth yells. Amelia reaches through the bars and places her hand on my back, trying to soothe me. I've told Alpha Ryker to hurry. You've started shifting, Seth says. I continue to cry out in pain. How long does this take? I cry out. The first shift on average takes around 1 hour, he replies. I let out another scream as the pain surges down my spine. It is Ryker! I scream, Alpha Ryker. We enter Shady Crest territory right on nightfall. Vanessa and Alice, who are cuffed and chained, walk in front of Kane while Leon leads the pack warriors. Alpha Zenith's warriors are all spread out, making them easy targets. Our arrival must have sounded an alarm. They retreat back toward the pack house. Alpha Zenith knows we're here, I yell out. Seth is mind-linking me. Alpha! They know you're here! Good, I say. Shit, Seth says. What is it? I ask. It's Astrid. You need to hurry. She's shifting, Seth says. Shit, tell Astrid I'm coming for her. I will be with her as soon as I can, I say. Leon, Kane, we need to move faster. Astrid is shifting. They nod and Leon and I shift into our wolves. Kane supervises Alice and Vanessa in his human form. We will be right behind you, Alpha, Kane yells out. We run until we can see the pack house. There are hundreds of pack warriors ready and waiting for us. I shift into my human form and put my pants on. I scan the area for Alpha Zenith, keeping my eyes on him, and slowly walk toward him. Alpha Zenith paces toward me, and we come face to face. He cracks his neck from side to side. He is shirtless and ready to shift at any given moment. Hand Astrid and Seth over now. No one has to die, I order. Alpha Zenith laughs. Astrid belongs to James in this pack now, he says. Kane, bring them out, I yell. Kane steps forward in front of our pack warriors with Alice and Vanessa. Alpha Zenith grinds his teeth and lets out a growl. I thought I'd bring your Luna and daughter along for the show, I say with a grin. Or we can trade. Astrid and Seth for Vanessa and Alice. I suggest. Alpha Zenith glares. Or I can kill you right now and claim your pack and have everything I want, he snaps. War it is, I say, growling. War it is then, Alpha Zenith yells as he walks back to his warriors. He shifts into an ugly, large, gray wolf. His ear is missing and he is worn and ragged. I shift into my large black wolf and let out a howl, signaling war. In wolf form, my warriors charge toward Alpha Zenith's warriors. I lose sight of him and charge toward the others attacking us, crashing into them and biting any area of fur exposed to me. 2 wolves run toward me and pounce. I quickly rip the throat of one while the other manages to bite my leg. I let out a whimper and I release the wolf I have hold of. I turn and lunge at the wolf, gnashing my leg. Clawing his face, he releases me. I pounce and bite into his side, tearing a large piece of flesh from him. He retreats, yelping. I observe the 2 packs fighting. It isn't a pretty scene. I shift back into human form. I need to find Astrid. I run toward the pack house. Leon, follow me! I yell. Leon follows as we rush into the pack house. I can hear her screams beneath the floor. Leon, a door must lead down to the cells, I figure. Astrid! I yell, running through the house. Alpha, here, I found the entrance. It smells so good, like lavender and musk, Leon says. I push past him, too time poor for his observations, and run downstairs. Seth is in the cell on the left, a girl is sitting on the ground in the cell on the right, and Astrid is curled up and screaming in pain in front of me. Astrid! I rattle the door, but it's locked. Shit! Where's the key? I yell. Ryker! Astrid screams, trying to crawl toward the door. She collapses in pain and lets out a scream as a bone snaps. Astrid, I'm going to find the key, okay? I run up the stairs. Leon is watching the girl in the other cell. Leon, what are you doing? The girl is also watching Leon. Mate. They both mumble in a trance. Leon, if you want to save your mate, I suggest we find the key, I yell. Leon nods, gives the girl a nod, and we search in vain for the keys. I hear the sound of them dangling in someone's grip behind me. Looking for these? A male voice behind me asks. James dangles the keys in front of me enticingly. John is with him. I shift into my wolf as quick as James and John do. I lunge at James and bite into his chest. John bites into my ribs and 2 snap in his lock hold. Leon lunges at John, pushing him off of me. James and I fight each other, neither backing down. We are both covered in gashes. Astrid screams in pain. I lunge at James, biting down as hard as I can, ripping a large chunk of flesh from his neck. Knowing he will bleed out, I finish him off quickly, instantly snapping his neck. John lets out an anguished howl. Leon uses this to his advantage and rips John's stomach open. Back in human form, I grab the keys and unlock Astrid's cell. I throw them over to Leon to free Seth and his mate. I hold Astrid in my arms, and our chemistry envelops us to a cloying degree. I gently push her hair from her face. Ryker, you're here, she cries. I promised you I'd be here for your first shift, I whisper. I hold her tightly through her screams, feeling the discs in her spine snap as I hold her in my arms. You can do this. It will all be over soon. I promise, I assure her. She cries out again as another bone snaps. Her muzzle begins to develop and her fangs protrude from her top jaw. Glossy white fur clothes her body, tearing off her skirt and blouse. Her final scream becomes a majestic howl. Astrid! She tries to stand on all fours and struggles with her balance. Whoa! Seth and Leon say, amazed. She's a pure white wolf, Seth adds. Unsteady on her feet, I help her balance. Steady now, nice and slowly. I have you. She is beautiful, the most beautiful wolf I have ever seen. She is so large, similar to me in size. Pure white wolves are only from Moonstone Crest. Astrid is the last of her pack. Her mother, Alyssa, was a future Luna, and her father was Alpha Axton, she explains. How do you know? I ask. She is holding Leon's hand tightly. Leon has his other arm around her waist and the biggest grin on his youthful face. Alpha Zenith is Alyssa's true mate, she explains. We all freeze as Astrid starts growling and yapping. It's okay, Astrid, I say. I kneel down so she can lick my face. She is like a gigantic marshmallow. She is so soft and squishy when I wrap my arms around her. She tries to play fight with me, nipping at my ankles and rolling onto her back in my lap. I'm excited, too. You're the most beautiful wolf I have ever seen, I smile. Seth, go and see how our warriors are going. We need to defeat Alpha Zenith. Astrid lets out an angry growl at his name. I know. Try and shift back into human form. I promise shifting back doesn't hurt at all. When you shift again, it will only take a moment, and it will be less painful, I explain. I'm going to fight. Amelia, stay here till the fight is over, Leon says. No, Amelia shouts, I'm going to fight too, she says, ripping off her clothes and shifting into her wolf with Leon and leaving the cell. It's the first time Astrid and I have been alone since she left. My eyes well with tears as I adore the love of my life and her sweet, fluffy face. Astrid. Focusing like Ryker told me to, my body shifts back into human form. I open my eyes to see myself lying in Ryker's arms. Both of us are naked. I lock eyes with him, but this time I see him through my wolf eyes. Mate, I say, and the world around me disappears. I wrap my arms around his neck and burst into tears. Ryker, I missed you so much. I'm so sorry for leaving, I cry. He wraps his warm, masculine arms around my waist and presses me to his chest. He cups my face in his hands. It's okay, babe. I know you didn't want to leave. I'm here now, and that's all that matters. We stare into each other's eyes, and our mouths smash together. My body ignites with the intensity of our passionate kiss. He slips his tongue into my mouth over and over again, massaging it against mine. It sends overwhelming hot shivers down my spine. We eventually part from the kiss, breathing heavily. The feeling is hot and intense. If there wasn't a battle outside, we would have mated then and there. Ryker lets out the sexiest growl and nips at my neck. As much as I want to stay like this forever, we need to destroy Alpha Zenith. He brings me back to reality with his words. I stand up quickly, my eyes change into my wolf's. Alpha Zenith is mine, I growl, instantly shifting. Ryker shifts, and we're almost the same size. I'm only slightly smaller. We let out a loud, majestic howl in unison, warning Alpha Zenith that we are coming for him. Bolting out of the cell, up the stairs, and out of the pack house, I see we have a lot of badly injured warriors. There are injured wolves everywhere, and a lot of dead warriors and pack members from Shady Crest. Sprinting around for Alpha Zenith, I catch his scent. I follow it away from the battle through the long grass and creep through the trees. I can tell he is close. Ryker isn't far behind me, watching my back. Hearing a ferocious growl on my right, I turn to see Alpha Zenith in his wolf form lunging toward me. We roll a few meters, with Alpha Zenith pinning me down, my hind claws tearing into his stomach. He emits a whimper and claws into my chest. I roll out from underneath him, then leap onto him, ferociously biting the back of his neck, tearing a piece of flesh clean off him. He howls in pain and then falls backward, almost crushing me beneath him. Unable to move from under him, I rip into his ribs and listen to the sounds of bones breaking. He rolls off me, and we snap and snarl at each other, blood dripping from our muzzles. His neck is exposed for a brief second, so I lunge forward, biting as hard as I can, remembering how he bit my mother's neck and shook her around like a rag doll. I show no mercy. Adrenaline rushes through me, blood spurts everywhere, and I shake him around feverishly. I know he is dead, but I don't let go. I release all my anger by ripping more flesh off him. Astrid, enough! He's dead, Ryker says, slowly approaching me. I let out another growl, warning him to back off. He freezes on the spot, shocked by my response. Astrid, you killed him. You can let him go now. It's over, he says. So much anger is boiling up inside of me. He killed my mother. He murdered my whole family and pack in Moonstone Crest. His death hasn't satisfied me. It isn't enough compensation for what he has done. I growl ferociously, still tearing his flesh off in strips. Masculine arms instantly wrap around me. Astrid, you need to stop. You need to let go and shift into your human. This isn't you, Astrid. Don't be the monster he is. Please, I'm begging you. He pleads. I flinch at his words. What am I doing? He killed my mother. I got my vengeance by killing him. I'm violently ripping him apart like a monster. I let go of his body. Ryker can see the pain in my face. In my dazed reverie, I tumble into his lap. I'm severely injured and, having lost too much blood from my wounds, extremely weak. I must have blacked out because I open my eyes to stare up into Ryker's chiseled jawline. He is carrying me nude, bridal style. Shady Crest pack members feel Alpha Zenith's death immediately. They cease fighting. Approaching Shady Crest pack house, the pack and warriors see us, fall to their knees and bow their heads. Why are they bowing for us? I ask Ryker. The moment you kill an alpha, his pack become your pack, he explains. But I'm not officially part of a pack yet, I say, confused. Ryker looks at me passionately. All you have to do is accept me as your mate, Astrid, and take your place by my side as my equal and as Luna, he smiles. I cup his face in my hands as he cradles me. I, Astrid Moonstone, accept you, Alpha Ryker of Shadowcrest, as my mate and as your Luna. Ryker stares into my eyes. He is fending off tears of happiness with my words. A strange warmth courses through my body. I feel an immediate sense of power and authority. Astrid, you have made me the happiest alpha in the world, Ryker says, mind-linking me for the very first time. I freeze at his voice in my head. I just heard you. In my head? Is that the mind link? I ask excitedly. Yes, just think of me in your mind. I will hear your voice in my head, he says. Okay. Ryker, if we didn't have hundreds of werewolves staring at us, I would have my way with you right now. Ryker lets out a chuckle. I'm sure they wouldn't mind a show, he says mischievously. Ryker, I say, slapping his chest playfully. I'm only joking, babe, he says, kissing me on the forehead. Amelia and Leon run up to us holding hands. She is blushing and smiling. I smile back at her. She hands me a black dress and I quickly put it on. Thanks, Amelia, I say, smiling. So, what happens now? I ask Ryker. Now we tend to the injured. We will use Shady Crest Pack House for all the wounded. The warriors will bury the dead and will return to Shadowcrest. Pack members from here are welcome to come with us. Or they can stay here and resume their lives. But this land is now our territory, he explains. Doing my best, I help tend to the injured. Everyone calls me Luna. It's foreign to me, but I figure I'll get used to it. How are you feeling now? Ryker asks, looking me up and down. I'm completely healed from all the injuries I received. I can't believe how quick I heal now. I smile. You will always heal quickly now that you have your wolf, he says, smiling. I think it's time we all go home. We hold hands, keeping our eyes only on each other. Everyone else is ready to leave to go home. Ryker, I was wondering if we could catch up with everyone later? My wolf is begging to be let out, and I thought we could go for a run together, I ask. I'd like that very much, he smiles and kisses me passionately on the lips. Ready to go, Alpha and Luna? Seth asks. We part, our eyes remain locked on each other. Without turning around to look at Seth, Ryker waves his hand. You all go on home. We will catch up later, he says. Seth smiles and nods, leading everyone back to Shadowcrest. I pull my dress off and shift into my large white wolf. Ryker shifts and I bolt toward him. We play fight a little. I nip at his ankles and neck. He purposely falls over, feigning weakness, and whimpers. I haven't really had the strength to knock him to the ground. It is really cute to watch. To be able to play with his wolf is a very enjoyable experience. We race through the woods to see who's faster. Our speeds aren't very different. The full moon is out in full view. We sit on a cliff edge not far from the pack house and let out majestic, powerful howls together. The pack members respond to us, howling together with joy and enthusiasm. Ryker's wolf sits beside me, resting his head on mine. He gives me a nip and a nuzzle every so often. We return to the pack house when everyone is asleep. We shift into our human forms. Before entering the front door, Ryker scoops me up bridal style and carries me upstairs in his arms. Our night has only just begun, he whispers coyly, nipping my ear. Giggling and blushing as Ryker nips my ear playfully, I let out a seductive growl. He puts me on the bed and crawls toward me, kissing my naked skin. Ryker pulls me on top of him, so I'm sitting fully on his lap. He caresses my back as we kiss with intense passion. He enters me slowly, gradually moving his hips in time with mine. The sensation inside me grows intensely with each thrust. Ryker, I moan. Astrid, he whispers, pleasure running through my body like I might just ignite and burn the whole pack house down. Knowing I'm about to orgasm, he grazes the spot on my neck to mark me, and bites down with protruded fangs just as I explode. The feeling of simultaneous pain and pleasure consumes me. I moan with intense fulfillment as hormones and endorphins rush through my body. When Ryker is close to finishing, my fangs protrude and I hover over the marking spot before biting down on his skin just as he releases himself inside of me. Moaning with his release, he kisses me passionately. An intense drowsiness overwhelms me, and I slump onto his chest. The sun shining on my face and the sound of chirping birds outside the window wakes me. Euphoric, my neck aches where Ryker has marked me. I sit up slowly, rubbing my neck. Good afternoon, my beautiful Luna, he says, smiling as he sits on the edge of the bed. Is it really afternoon? Did I really sleep all day? I ask, surprised. Ryker laughs. You've been asleep 2 days? He says, smirking. What? How did I manage that? I'm shocked. I expected you to be knocked out for a couple of days after marking you. He smiles. I lift my legs out of bed to stand up, and he races over to me. Where do you think you're going? He asks. He lets out a sexy growl and wraps his arms around my waist and kisses my neck. I moan, jump up, and wrap my legs around his waist as we kiss. I pull his shirt over his head and undo his pants. He pulls my nightie over my head. Ryker, holding me up, slides himself inside me. I grab his hair with both hands as he deeply thrusts himself inside of me over and over again. The flame inside me intensifies and my moans become louder and louder. Ryker, I fucking love you, I yell as we climax together. We fall back onto the bed. He cups my face and pulls me closer inward, kissing me with great desire. I put my hand on his chest and my head on his shoulder. So, you fucking love me, hey? He jests. It feels so right to be with you. It feels so good. Words can't express how much I want you. The thought of not being with you hurts me so much. I confess. I feel the same way, Astrid. I wish I could keep you in my arms forever, he says, kissing the top of my head. I stand and go to the bathroom. I'm going to have a shower. Mind helping me scrub myself clean? I ask him seductively. I don't mind at all, he says, following me to the shower. I'll scrub you so well you'll see stars by the end of it, he says, grinning, his words laced with innuendo. We can't keep our hands off each other. Hot, steamy sex is the order of the day in the shower. When I look at my cheeks in the mirror afterward, they have a nice red tinge, and my green eyes seem clearer and brighter somehow. For the first time ever, I feel amazing. I feel safe and loved. Giggling, we waltz down the stairs, hand in hand, like two giddy teenagers in high school. In the dining room, I sit on his lap while we feed each other. I can't believe how cute you two are, Mia gushes, taking a seat facing us. We blush and giggle, Ryker giving me a huge grin before quickly pecking me on the nose. It's so good to be home and with our Luna, Seth says, smiling. It sure is, Ryker says, kissing and nuzzling my neck. I can't stop squirming and laughing. It tickles so much. Ryker, stop it. It tickles, I plead between laughs. He pulls me closer and kisses me on the cheek. Everyone in the dining room is extremely happy for us. We finish our meals with much joy and love floating around the table. What happened to Alice and Vanessa, I ask. Everyone pauses and waits for Ryker to explain. After what they did and tried to do, I couldn't kill them. I couldn't release them without keeping an eye on them, though. Now that Alpha Zenith and her sons are dead, Alice is a shell of her former self. I think that's punishment enough for her. Vanessa is more upset about losing her brothers, more than anything. I gave them the options of staying in the cell indefinitely or returning to their old pack to help upkeep our territory. Alice is no longer Luna, so she has no power or authority there. They're not allowed to leave territory without my permission, he explains. I'm glad. I won't have to walk on eggshells around them. Now that I have my wolf, I can defend myself. They won't be a threat to us anymore, I say. Everyone nods in agreement and smiles. What are the plans for the rest of the day, Alpha? Kane asks. Our Luna and I have some work in the office we need to start, Ryker says. I smile. Really? I say excitedly. You're Luna now. We do everything together, he says with a beaming smile. I wrap my arms around his neck and nuzzle his mark. How are you feeling? I ask, referring to his mark. Frisky, he whispers seductively in my ear. I laugh, slapping his chest. You know what I mean, I say. A little tender like you, but I'll be fine in a few days, he assures me. We go upstairs to his office. He pulls a chair next to him for me to sit in and puts a stack of clean A4 paper and some pens on the desk in front of me. We need to write to all the packs informing them, Shady Crest is now our territory and you're now our Luna, he says. He writes the first letter before I copy everything he has written down on a few more bits of paper. I write names and addresses on envelopes and enclose our letters inside them. All done, I say, smiling. It's getting dark. Do we want to go let our wolves out for a run? He asks. Yeah, let's go. I grab his hand and lead him downstairs, running out the front door excitedly, removing all our clothes and shifting into our wolves. I lunge at Ryker and we roll over dramatically. I nip at his face and we bolt toward the woods playfully together. We play like we are a couple of puppies, nipping, yapping, and nudging each other. We keep running. Finding a lake, we come to a halt. I jump into the water full speed ahead. I stand up in the water and flick my hair back in a wet wave high above my head, in human form. Ryker's wolf is staring at me from the bank. Ryker jumps full speed ahead into the water, splashing me. "Ryker!" I yell, grinning excitedly. He lingers under the surface of the lake for a moment, before bobbing up again in human form. He moans, kisses me, and grabs my hands and places them around his waist. He lifts me onto his hips, carries me to the bank. He pulls me against his chest and holds me, stroking my back. "You're amazing," he says. I look up at him. "No, babe, you're amazing," I say, my eyes twinkling. A few months later. Gently waking Ryker up, I cover his handsome face in kisses. "You know, if you keep doing that, it won't just wake me up, but also the man downstairs, my sweet," he says with his eyes still closed. I throw a pillow at his face. "Hey!" He sits up and throws a pillow back at me. I lean backward, dodging the pillow. I poke out my tongue. "Ha! You missed," I tease. "Oh, did I?" he says, jumping out of bed and running toward me, flinging me over his shoulder and whirling us around in a circle. "Ryker, stop!" I giggle. "You'll make me sick," I say. He stops. "Well, you're no fun." He feigns a pout. "No fun? Have you forgotten about all the fun we had 3 times last night?" I ask him. "You got me there. You're fun in that department," he says, slapping my bum. "Ah, did you really just smack my bum?" I ask. "Yes, but it should be the least of your worries. I'm so tempted to bite it right now," he threatens, with a seductive growl. "Ryker," I laugh. "Put me down." I giggle. Ryker runs into the dining room downstairs with me over his shoulder with a grin on his face. I scream his name the whole way down. "Ryker," I yell, trying not to laugh at his playfulness. He sits in a chair and pulls me onto his lap. "There, I put you down," he says, winking at me. I roll my eyes. "Did you just roll your eyes at me, Luna? I might be forced to give you another spanking," he says mischievously. Blushing, I turn away. Of course, everyone at the table has heard what he said. They eat in silence, smirking, and try to contain themselves. "Since we have the day off, I'd like to take you into town and spoil you," he says, nuzzling his face into my neck. I nod in agreement and kiss his cheek. We finish breakfast and make our way to the shopping strip. "Where would you like to go to first?" he asks. I look around at all the shops and can't help looking at the ice cream shop. "Ice cream," I yell, dragging him across the road. "Ice cream? We just ate breakfast," he replies. "I know, but you said you wanted to spoil me today, and it's been so long since I've had ice cream," I say, pondering all of the flavors I might be able to choose from. "Ice cream it is," he says. I squeal with excitement. "Yay, thank you," I say, wrapping my arms around him. Entering the ice creamery, we are greeted by a lovely shop assistant by the name of Maisie. "Alpha, Luna, how can I help you?" Maisie asks. I look at the different kinds of wafer cones and the different ice cream flavors in the glass cabinet. "I'll have the triple scoop cone. 1 scoop of chocolate, 1 scoop of mint, 1 scoop of vanilla, and 1 scoop of rainbow, please." "Make it massive," I ask Maisie. Ryker is surprised. "Astrid, that's a lot of ice cream for a werewolf," he says, his hands in his pockets, as he waits patiently and watches Maisie scoop 4 different flavors of ice cream into a wafer cone just for me. "I can't help it. I'm so hungry," I say, my arms folded against myself as I lean against the glass, watching Maisie add the last scoop of rainbow to my wafer cone. "Here you go, Luna. That's yours," Maisie smiles. I'm instantly in a happy mood taking the ice cream from her. I bite into it without hesitation with my front teeth. "Thank you so much, Maisie," I say, skipping out of the store happily. I sense Ryker rolling his eyes at me behind my back. "I saw that," I laugh. "Saw what?" he asks. "You rolled your eyes at me," I say. "How do you know?" he asks. "I don't know. I just know that you did," and continue to eat my ice cream. "Where should we go next?" he asks, licking grooves into a scoop of chocolate ice cream in his single scoop cone. "Medley's clothing store. I need some new jeans and stuff," I announce. All of the ice cream in my cone has already gone, leaving the cone with its chocolate-filled point to be devoured. "Okay," he says, smiling. I wolf down my cone, savoring the rich chocolate end, and enter the store. Ryker has no choice but to bring his cone in with him. "Alpha, Luna, it has been a while since I've seen you both," Medley smiles. "It has been a while, Medley. We have been very busy," I say. smiling coyly at Ryker. Of course, I can imagine all the paperwork you have now that Shady Crest is your territory, she says, smiling. Ryker and I aren't talking about the paperwork. Yes, the paperwork has been insane, Ryker says, smirking. I'm after some new clothes. All my others don't seem to fit as comfortably as they used to, I explain. You might be interested in our new range over here, Medley says, pointing to a wall of clothing that has just arrived. Walking over to the new arrivals, I grab a pair of jeans and a shirt I like and hold them in front of my figure in a mirror. This dress is nice, Ryker says, passing me a dress to try on. I go into the changing room and lock the cubicle door behind me. I push my legs into the skinny blue jeans. I almost fall over trying to do the zip-up. Are you okay in there? Medley asks. I think there's something wrong with the size, Medley. They don't fit. I walk out of the change room in the shirt and skinny blue jeans. The shirt is extremely tight around my bust and my tummy, and the zip and the button on the jeans won't fasten. Medley and Ryker giggle. Why are you laughing? I ask. They fail to contain themselves. I love the shirt, babe. It's turning me on seeing your boobs like that, Ryker chuckles. What? I ask. They look bigger than normal in that shirt, he says. You are in so much trouble when we get home, I say, blushing. What kind of trouble? He asks with a cheeky smirk. I roll my eyes and go back into the change rooms. I saw that, Ryker says. Saw what? I ask. You rolled your eyes at me, he says. I can't help but laugh. Okay, I mumble, locking the cubicle door behind me. I put the dress on that Ryker chose. It's elastane and strapless and sits mid-thigh, exposing a lot of leg. This fits much better, I say, showing him. He eyes me up and down with approval and pins me against the shop wall to kiss me. Our display of affection exceeds what's acceptable in a shop setting. Should I leave? Medley asks, her face a rosy, embarrassed pink hue. We pay her no mind as Ryker runs his hand up my thigh. I'll just be in the office out back if you need me, Medley yells out, leaving us quickly and tottering off to her office. I moan as he strokes my inner thigh. As much as I want you to take me right now, I don't think a clothing store is ideal. Customers could walk in on us, I point out. Ryker lifts me up so that my legs are around his waist and squeezes himself into the changing room with me in his arms. He locks the door behind us. Remember our first time in here? He asks with a desirous look in his eyes. I blush and nod. I think we should finish what we started, he declares. With my arms around his neck, he pulls my underwear off and I unbutton his jeans into my core until we both moan and climax together. We leave the store giggling. Let's go for a run, I suggest. Sounds good, Ryker smiles. We reach the woods and leave the shopping bags and my new clothes on a spot on the ground. We undress, and I stuff our clothes in the plastic bags with the new items. Ryker shifts into his wolf and runs off. He pauses when he realizes I'm not following him. Astrid, you haven't shifted. Are you okay? He links. I don't know. I can't shift. Nothing is happening. Why can't I shift? I link back with clear panic in my voice. Ryker shifts back and dresses himself. It's okay. You're probably just too tired, he says, kissing my head. I shake my head. I don't feel tired, I reply. He takes my hand. Come on, let's go home, he says. And I nod and follow for a while before stopping. Astrid? He asks. I run to the closest bush and throw up. Let's go home. I'll call the doctor, Ryker says, concern in his voice. My surrounds spin and I feel faint before collapsing and blacking out. I hear the sounds of hospital machines beeping and whirring. I open my eyes and putting my arm up, cover them from the bright lights. Am I in the hospital? I ask. Astrid, you're awake, Ryker says, taking my hand and smiling. You blacked out. I brought you straight to the hospital. The doctor will be here shortly to speak with us. They took some blood to run some tests. I'm sure you're fine, though. It's just a precaution. A nurse enters the room with a monitor on a trolley. Alpha, Luna, doctor is on his way. He asked me to get some things set up for him. She smiles, plugging a machine into the PowerPoint on the wall, switching it on and leaving the room. Alpha, it's been quite some time since you've been here. The doctor smiles, coming in. Dr. Herman, is she going to be okay? Ryker asks. Yes, she will be fine. Her results came back positive. We'll do an ultrasound to see how far along she is. Ryker and I look at each other confused. Positive for what? I ask. Dr. Herman gives a chuckle. Pregnancy, he says. My mouth drops open in shock. I'm pregnant? I ask. Yes. Congratulations to you both, he says, shaking Ryker's hand. I'm going to be a dad? He asks the doctor. The doctor nods and smiles and squirts some gel across my lower abdomen and glides a sort of scanner device over the gel. And there it is, he gestures to the screen. Frozen in awe, staring at the medical screen, we see 2 little arms, 2 little legs, a body and a head. We can even hear a heartbeat. That's our baby? I ask, looking up at Ryker. His eyes well with emotion as he kisses the back of my hand. Yes, that's our perfect little baby, he says softly. Tears of joy and happiness overwhelm me. Ryker, we're having a baby, I cry. Ryker squeezes my hand and kisses my forehead. You're going to be the best mother, I just know it, he says, beaming. How far along is she, Dr. Herman? Ryker asks. She is 12 weeks, so there'll be no more shifting until the birth of the pup, he explains. He grabs some paper towel and wipes off all the gel. That's why you couldn't shift today, Ryker ponders. Before I can pull my shirt back down, and after Dr. Herman has finished wiping the gel off it, Ryker kisses the skin on my belly. You have exhausted yourself, Astrid. I suggest bed rest for a few days. Avoid wearing yourself out. We don't want you collapsing again, Dr. Herman says. He prints out the ultrasound pictures, and Ryker tucks them safely in his pocket before scooping me up in his arms. Time to take my family home to rest in bed, he says, as he leans down to kiss my forehead before kissing me softly on the lips. We leave the hospital room beaming. I feel like a beached whale struggling to get out of bed. Ryker, I call out. A moment later, I hear Ryker running up the stairs. What's wrong? Is the baby coming? He wonders. I laugh. No, we're fine. I just can't sit up. My belly is so huge. Ryker smiles and walks over to the bed to help me to sit up before kneeling beside me and placing his hands on both sides of my belly. I can't wait to meet you, little one. It won't be much longer now, he says, kissing my stomach. Ryker pulls me to my feet, helps me dress, and we walk downstairs for breakfast. I think twice about sitting on Ryker's lap when I'm as big as I am. I pull out another chair, breaking our morning routine. Wait, he says, standing and sitting down in the chair I have just pulled out. He gestures for me to sit in his. You're so sweet, I say, smiling at him. Only the best seat in the house for you, my love, he says, giving me a wink and a smile. Astrid, you must let Haley and I take you into the city today for baby shopping, Mia says. Okay, thanks. That would be fun. We do need to have a ladies' day, don't we? I say, glowing. Haley sits in the driver's seat of her car waiting for us, while Mia helps me hobble down the front steps to the car. I need Mia's help buckling my seatbelt. Almost got it, Mia says, forcing the belt buckle to clip in. If you get any bigger, Astrid, we're going to have to buy a seatbelt extension. Mia giggles. We all burst out laughing. Click. Got it, Mia yells with excitement. We stop by Jim's diner on the way for milkshakes and burgers. Despite the fact I just had breakfast, I'm constantly hungry and constantly eating for 2. Do you think it's a boy or a girl? Have you thought of any names? Jim asks. I'm not sure what it is. I'm excited either way. Ryker and I have thought of a few names. Nothing set in concrete yet, I say, slurping the last dregs of my Blue Heaven milkshake. I spin on my swivel seat and look out the window. Is something wrong, Astrid? Haley asks. No, I'm sure it's nothing, I say, spinning back around to take a bite out of my burger. I can't help but feel I'm being watched. Alpha Zenith is dead, so there's no cause for my anxiety. Shrugging it off, I focus on my food, Jim, baby talk, the girls, and the shopping we're about to do. Now that you've had your second meal today, we should head into town and actually start shopping, Mia laughs. Okay, let's fit lunch into that too, I say. Mia, Haley, and Jim burst out laughing. Go shopping, Astrid, and stop back here on your way back, and I'll make you another meal, Jim says. Woohoo, I say, standing up. See you in a few hours, Jim, I say as I waddle out the door. We arrive in town and go straight to a baby boutique. There are so many cute clothes to choose from, and not knowing the baby's gender, I restrict myself to shopping for only lemons, greens, whites, and grays. Look at this teddy bear, Mia says, hugging it closely to her chest. It is a fluffy brown bear with a green t-shirt. It is very cute and soft to touch. I think I'll buy this for the baby, Mia smiles. Haley comes running over with a pink dragon plushie. I'm going to buy this for the baby, she says. Oh, look at all these booties. I squeal, picking up a set of every color and tossing them into my basket. Mia and Haley laugh at my antics before we pay for the items and head out the store. "Next shop?" I say, and the girls nod. "Let us carry the bags, Luna," Mia says. I smile and hand her the plastic bags. "These bags are pretty heavy. I might run them to the car and meet you in the next store," Haley says. "We'll see you soon," Mia says to Haley. Waddling up the road, I tell Mia I need to sit down and rest a moment. "There is a park over there. We can sit on the bench seat. I really need the bathroom anyway, so I'll go while you rest," Mia suggests. We make our way across the road to the park with the gorgeous, colorful playground and many trees. A large tree provides lots of shade, so I sit underneath it, watching the children playing on the playground in the distance. I place my hand on my stomach. "I can't believe I will have a child soon. I can't wait to meet you." I hear rustling in the bushes behind me. Before I can turn my head to see what it is, my mouth is covered by a hand, and I am dragged backwards. I try to scream, but my mouth is stuffed with a rag, and a knife is pressed against my throat. My eyes are blindfolded, and I'm shoved into a car. I manage to spit the cloth out and speak. "Who are you? What do you want?" I scream. I want to remove the blindfold, but my wrists are quickly cuffed behind my back. The metal cuffs cut into my skin every time I try to wriggle my hands free. "Please don't do this," I cry. A cloth is held against my face. Chloroform. A few seconds later, I black out. Dizzy and disoriented, I wake to the sound of a car door slamming. I try to sit up, but my belly weighs me down. I hear the sound of footsteps, and someone opens my door. I'm dragged out of the car aggressively, tears rolling down my cheeks. "Ryker, you have to help me." "Astrid, where are you? What's going on?" "I've been kidnapped." "Where are you? Who has taken you?" "I'm going to rip their heads off." "I don't know. They snuck up behind me at the park. I never saw them." "I couldn't link you because I was knocked out with chloroform." "I only just woke up. I've been dragged out the car. I'm not sure where I am." "Please, Ryker. I'm scared the baby will be hurt." "I will find you, Astrid." "I'm sending the pack warriors out to search. Hopefully we can pick your scent up and get a lead." "Please hurry. Ryker, I'm scared. I can't shift to fight back." "I know, babe. Just stay calm for your sake and the baby's. Link me the moment you know who it is or know where you are. If anything happens to me, I just want you to know I love you so much, and I have never been as happy in my life as I have been with you." "Astrid, don't talk like that. Nothing is going to happen to you. I love you too." Hearing the sound of dirt and stones crunching under my feet, I am led God knows where by my captor. I keep asking questions, but don't get a reply. We stop walking, and I'm forced to sit down against a pole. One of my hands is released, only to be cuffed again around the pole. Someone drags a chair in front of me. They sit down, lean toward me, and remove my blindfold. My face pales when I meet my captor. "Dad?" I stutter. "Did you miss me?" he asks with a twisted grin. "Dad, why are you doing this to me? You can see I'm carrying a baby. Please let me go," I say. "I told you I'd make you pay for your mother's death, or have you forgotten?" He says, "Dad, I didn't kill her. I know that now. It isn't my fault she died," I cry. "Lies. If you would have kept still and listened to her, she would still be alive." He snaps. "No, Dad, you don't understand. Zenith killed her. Zenith killed Mum," I yell. "No, a wolf killed your mother because of your incompetence," he yells. "Zenith was the wolf. He was in love with Mum and she rejected him," I yell. He lets out a chuckle. "Has being pregnant mushed your brain? A wolf called Zenith was in love with your mother and killed her because she turned him down?" He says with amusement. "Yes," I reply. He shakes his head in disbelief. "This is going to be hard to believe, Dad, but werewolves exist. Zenith was a man who had the ability to shift into a wolf. You never knew, but Mum was a werewolf too," I confess. He bursts out laughing. "If that's the case, wouldn't that make you a werewolf?" he asks. "Yes, it does. I'm a werewolf. That's what Mum was going to tell me on my 18th birthday," I tell him. "Okay, if you're a werewolf, prove it," he says. "I can't shift." "So you're confirming you're a liar?" he says. "No, I can shift, just not while I'm pregnant," I yell. "Sure," he says sarcastically. "You know, you took something away from me that meant the world to me, and now here you are, carrying something that means the world to you," he says, looking down at my belly. "You're not going to hurt my baby," I say, worried. "Oh, Astrid, I'm not going to hurt your little baby. I'm going to kill it, he says. No, Dad. Please don't hurt my baby. Please let me have the baby first, then you can kill me. Please, I cry. My dad laughs. You're pathetic and weak, and your baby will be too. Ryker, my dad, he kidnapped me. Shit, are you at your father's house? No, we aren't at his house. I'm in some kind of big old shed or run-down abandoned factory. I've never been here before. Leon is bringing me a map. We'll mark all the abandoned buildings and sheds and check each and every one. You need to hurry. He says he is going to kill our baby. I hear a ferocious growl through the link. I'm going to kill him if he lays a finger on you or our baby. Dad grabs my hair and strikes me across the face. Are you even listening to me, or are you too busy zoning out? He yells. Ryker is going to find me and he is going to kill you for this, I yell. Your precious Ryker, hey, so he's your baby daddy, he says. Yes, Ryker is my mate, I reply. Your mate, and what kind of term is that? He asks. The moon goddess chose us to be together. We are soulmates, I say. He smirks and stands, picking the chair up and throwing it onto the ground. I watch it smash into a million pieces. Please don't. I'm begging you, I say, as he approaches me. Curling up into a ball, I bring my knees up to my stomach while he kicks me over and over again. I cry and scream for him to stop, but he keeps going. Every kick is meant for my stomach, and I have no way to shield my unborn baby from the onslaught. He pauses to wipe the sweat from his forehead and looks down at me, proud of beating me. I'm battered pretty badly, but can feel myself already healing. He leaves and returns an hour later. What the fuck? Where are all the bruises from your face gone? He asks. I ignore him. He kneels down to inspect me, realizing most of my bruises and wounds are healed. Impossible, he mutters as he stands. He grabs my face tightly in his hands. How did you do that? He asks. I already told you. I'm a werewolf. We heal quickly, I yell. He glares at me for a moment in thought before kicking me hard in the stomach. I cry out in pain and wish there was something I could do to shield my stomach. I am so big, there is no way to shield it. I cry out as liquid runs down my legs. My stomach seizes tightly and I let out a scream. Looks like I brought on your labor, he laughs. I'm panting as soon as the contraction finishes. My forehead drips with sweat. I brace myself for the next contraction, letting out a scream while my dad watches, smiling. I'm going to enjoy the look on your face when the baby comes. You won't get to even hold it, he says as he walks over to an old bench. I hear the sound of metal clinking against metal as he sorts through items. I think this will do the trick, he says, holding up a box cutter knife. No, Dad! Please! I yell and scream with the next contraction. Ryker, hurry! The baby is coming. I'm in labor. You're in labor? He beat me. He triggered the labor. He is going to kill our baby as soon as it's born. I scream with the next contraction. There are 20 different abandoned places. We have checked 18. We're getting closer now. I promise I'll be there soon. My dad approaches me, sits on the ground in front of me, and scratches the blade into the concrete to torment me. My contractions are closer together now. My body is almost ready to push. We're here. I can smell your scent, he links. I let out a scream with the contraction. I can hear you. I'm coming, baby, he links. I hear running footsteps outside 20 meters away. Dad hears them too. He opens a long case and pulls out a shotgun. He points the gun toward the door. Let her go, Ryker growls. My dad chuckles. Or what, he says. I'll rip your head off, Ryker warns. My dad fires, only just missing Ryker. We're going to play it this way then, are we? Ryker says, removing his shirt and jeans and shifting into his wolf. He charges toward Dad. The gun fires and is followed with a whimper and a yelp. Ryker, I yell, watching the blood trickle from his shoulder. The gun is loaded again. Well, I'll be damned. Werewolves do exist. Just think of the money I would get if I shoot you dead and skin your fur, he shouts. Ryker lets out a growl and circles him. The gun is still pointed in his direction. I let out a scream as another contraction comes and briefly averts Dad's attention, giving Ryker enough time to lunge at him. A shot rings out and Ryker body slams my dad and pins him to the ground. Ryker snarls in his face, baring his fangs and a mouthful of sharp canines. Whoa, steady there, boy, Dad says, raising his hands to surrender. Ryker bites down so quickly. All I see is Dad's head fly across the room and slam into the wall, leaving a large splat of blood on the wall. Ryker shifts back into human form and runs to me, releasing my hands from the cuffs. The baby is coming, I cry. I need to push, I tell him. You're safe now. I'm here now. Push, babe. You can do this. He says, reassuringly. I nod and push on the next contraction. I can see the head, Ryker announces. Come on, babe. One more push. I push with all my might as the baby slides out into Ryker's hands and wails. You did it, Ryker says, wrapping his shirt around the baby and placing him in my arms. He sits beside me while we both look down in awe at our very big but perfect baby boy. Wow, he is one big baby, Ryker says. Definitely an alpha like his daddy, I say with a giggle. No wonder your belly was so huge, he says. I've told the doctor and the others where we are. We'll have you and our son home soon, he says, smiling. I can't believe this boy is our son. What are we going to name him? I ask Ryker. What about Magnus? It's a tough, strong name, and it also means large, very fitting for a future alpha. I think so anyway, Ryker says. Alpha Magnus, I like it, I smile. It's settled. Magnus it is, Ryker declares. The doctor arrives and Ryker cuts the umbilical cord. We are driven home where I'm greeted by half the town in the dining room. I know you're all are keen to meet the future alpha of the pack, but Astrid and the baby need rest after their ordeal. It's a boy, someone yells out. Yes, it's a boy, Ryker confirms. Everyone cheers. A boy, the future alpha of Shadowcrest, someone says. Ryker and I smile at each other. Unless you live in the pack house, please go home. You'll have the chance to meet the baby during the week, Ryker says. Guests aren't happy about not being able to see the baby wrapped up in my arms. I sit in an armchair in the living room. Ryker crouches down beside me and strokes Magnus's thick brown hair. Seth, Kane, Mia, and Haley watch on from other sofas as I unwrap him and take him out of his swaddle. Everyone lets out a gasp. He is twice the size of a newborn wolf pup, Seth says, shocked. No wonder you were eating 10 meals a day, Astrid. It wasn't to feed you. It was just to feed him. Mia says in astonishment. We all burst out laughing at the truth of her words. We have named him, I say excitedly. What's his name? Haley asks, wide-eyed. Well, we wanted a strong and tough name, he being a future alpha. He is obviously going to be huge as an adult. We've decided on Magnus, I say with a beaming smile. It's perfect, Mia declares, clapping her hands together, delighted. Alpha Magnus. That is a very strong name, Seth smiles. He has your eyes, Astrid. And your hair, Haley says. And his dad's nose and handsome face, I say, giggling. Our perfect baby boy, Ryker says, placing his hand on my shoulder proudly. Amelia and I sit on the porch drinking tea, heavily pregnant with our second babies, while Magnus plays with little Nina, Amelia and Leon's daughter, aptly named Nina because she was such a small, tiny baby, and Nina means little girl. I think it's quite cute. We laugh loudly as little Nina holds in a mouthful of water and squirts it into Magnus's face. She pokes her tongue out at him, runs away, and Magnus chases after her. Nina, you just wait till I catch you, he yells. Little Nina and Magnus are the complete opposite of each other. It would be interesting to see if the moon goddess chooses them as mates, I say. I dunno. Every playdate we have, Nina wears poor Magnus out. She is always playing tricks on him. She is so silly and cheeky, and he is so serious and sensible, Amelia says, laughing. I think I need to go to the bathroom, I tell her. Me too, Amelia says. We both call out for our mates. Ryker, I yell. Leon, Amelia yells. They both appear. Is the baby coming? Are you okay? Ryker asks, concerned. I place my hand on my fat belly. No, I'm fine. I can't get out of this chair and I need to go to the bathroom, I explain. Again? This is like the 10th time already, Ryker laughs. Next time, you carry the baby and try not to pee every 5 minutes, I joke. Okay, he says, helping me up and giving me a kiss. Leon, I can't get up and I need the bathroom too, Amelia says, her hand on her swollen belly. Leon rolls his eyes and helps Amelia up. I saw that, she says. Saw what? He asks. You rolled your eyes, she says. How do you know that? He asks. I'm your mate. I know everything, she giggles. Ryker and I laugh. Water gushes down my legs. Ryker and I look down at the water gushing everywhere and then at each other, smiling. Are you ready for baby number 2? Ryker asks. I kiss him passionately on the lips. I'm ready for baby number 3. I giggle. Come on, Magnus, please play hide and seek with me, Nina begs me with her large, brown, doe-like eyes. I walk towards her with abrupt haste. She steps back until she feels the bluestone wall against her back. I tower over her with ease. My mother, Astrid, the Luna of Shadowcrest, always reminds me that when I was born, I was double the size of a regular wolf baby, and even now almost a foot taller and much broader than any other 10-year-old. She says I may even become the mightiest alpha of all one day. Glaring down into Nina's eyes, I huff, I'm still mad at you for tricking me into putting salt on my cereal this morning instead of sugar. Nina's face lights up with a smile. The look on your face when you ate it, though, was so worth it, she giggles. Why do you always enjoy making me the laughingstock of the family? Do you hate me that much? It's not like that, Magnus. You're my best friend, always and forever. We are just having fun. Fun. You're not the one that gets into trouble all the time for your little pranks and silly games. No one is going to take me seriously when I become the alpha. Of course everyone will take you seriously, Magnus. You're thinking too much into it. Look, I'm sorry about this morning. Please play hide and seek with me, she says, batting her eyelids at me. I'm struggling to say no and instead sigh, fine, yay. She grabs my hand and pulls me along towards the large dam that is walled in. Now last time was too boring though, so this time I brought this. She pulls a blindfold from her pocket and waves it in front of my face like a flag. A blindfold? Yes, I'll blindfold you and you count to 100 because I know you have been peeking, and that's how you find me so easily. She isn't lying. I never fully close my eyes so I can see which direction she goes. So because she is so tiny and petite compared to me, I kneel so she can tie the blindfold around my eyes. Holding my hand, she guides me to a nearby area. Okay, you can start counting now, she lets out a mischievous giggle. Nina, this better not be another prank. I yell out as she runs away, but she doesn't reply. Sighing, I start to count. As soon as I reach 20, I feel a vibration that is becoming stronger with each second that goes by. Following my gut instincts, I remove the blindfold to see I'm standing in the empty creek that leads water from the dam down to the river. I'm roughly 50 meters from the dam's gate. Warriors open the gate to release water from the dam when it's close to overflowing, which is right now. Water rushes down the creek, washing me away in the rapids. Nina runs alongside the creek, giggling as I'm flung around in the water. Nina, I yell and spit water out that has entered my mouth. Enjoying your bath? She yells. I grab a branch and pull myself out of the creek. Nina! Oh, don't be so mad, Magnus. You looked like you were having fun, she giggles. She turns and runs towards Shady Crest's pack house as soon as she sees me stomping towards her with a furious look on my face. I'm going to get you back one of these days, Nina. I yell and chase after her. She beats me back to the pack house with great speed. She has always been very swift in her movements and known to be the fastest runner in our pack and can even outrun the warriors. Entering the pack house, I am met with my very unimpressed mother. Magnus, you are wet and muddy. What on earth have you been up to? She growls. It was Nina's fault, I say, pointing at her as she sits like a proper lady at the table, looking oblivious to my words. My mother stares at Nina, then back at me with a frown. Nina is as fresh as a daisy as usual, Magnus. You are going to be alpha one day. You need to take responsibility for yourself. Now I suggest you go upstairs and have a proper bath. But, no buts, Magnus, now, she points to the staircase, and I glare at Nina, who is trying to contain a laugh behind her hand. Storming upstairs, I run a bath and struggle to remove the clothes that are clinging to my body and slip over. I lay there staring out the window at the overcast gray sky. Damn you, Nina. I wish if the moon goddess herself would curse you and not give you your wolf on your 18th birthday and remove your mate bond until the day I fall in love, I say out loud. A flash of lightning suddenly hits the roof of the pack house and thunder roars loudly in the sky. I stand up in surprise at the timing of the thunder and lightning, wondering if it was a sign from the moon goddess. Nah. I sit in the bath of bubbles and think of all the times I played with Nina over the years. Chasing her across a field, she quickly leaps as I fall into a deep hole. She had, of course, led me to fall into. I think about last year when it was my 10th birthday, and she pushed my face into my cake as I went to blow out the candles. Everyone, especially her, thought it was hilarious, me not so much. Just like the time she put the itchy powder in my clothes, I spent half the day scratching myself silly and tearing my clothes throughout the day in agony of it. The entire pack laughed. I always felt humiliated, as if I was the joke of the family. How am I supposed to be the future alpha when no one takes me seriously, all because of Nina? Maybe if I completely ignore her and keep my distance, my family won't see me as a joke anymore? I need my family to know I will take my role seriously as alpha, and the only way to do that is without Nina in my life. Content with my plan, I dry and dress and join the pack house downstairs for dinner. My dad, Alpha Ryker, sits at the head of the table. Then it's my mother next to him, but I have never seen her sit in her chair. Instead, she sits on my dad's lap, and he wouldn't have it any other way. Next to my mother's vacant seat is my brother Flint, then my sister Josie, who is the youngest. Being the next alpha in line, I get to sit right next to Dad on the other side of the table. Then we have my dad's Beta Seth with his wife Mia and their son Zach, then Gamma Kane and his wife Haley with their daughter Trixie. Last but not least, at the other end is Leon, who is in charge of the pack warriors, and his wife Amelia with their two daughters May and, of course, Nina. Ignoring Nina, I smile at May, who blushes. Then I acknowledge my brother, sister, and the others. We eat our meals in silence, but Flint and Josie snigger and elbow each other. Care to share with the table what seems to be so funny? Alpha Ryker asks them. We were just talking about how Magnus went for a swim today and got washed away, and that it's probably the cleanest he has ever been, Josie says and bursts into laughter, along with Zach, Trixie, and May. I slam my fork down and cross my arms. I want to glare at Nina, but remind myself to never look at her ever again. Kids, that is enough. Eat your dinner, or you can go without. Your choice, Mother says with a firm voice. As we quietly eat our meals, my dad talks about Vanessa and Alice, who fled from Shady Crest when I was born. The Emerald Pack caught sight of 2 female rogues and a young boy rogue in their territory and are certain the females were Vanessa and Alice. They followed them to another pack that is not on record and think it may be a bunch of rogues creating their own official pack. Shall I send warriors after them, Alpha Ryker? Leon asks. It's been 10 years since they fled, and they haven't seemed to have caused any more trouble. 10 years on the run is already quite the punishment. Well, if they are farther south and keeping to themselves, then I don't see the need to pursue them, Mother says. Dad kisses her hand and nods in agreement. The next day I walk straight past Nina and ask May if she wants to climb some trees with me, Trixie, and Zach. I can see out the corner of my eyes Nina's eyebrows crease in confusion, as May and I have rarely ever spoken to each other, nor have we ever played together. Sure, she smiles. Okay, let's go. I smile and wave for her to follow. Nina stands there watching us, then runs after us. Hey, I want to climb trees too, you know. I stop and face her. No, only my friends can join. What are you talking about, Magnus? I'm your best friend. You were never my friend, I growl and regroup with others. Nina's face turns somber, with a hint of confusion. That's harsh, don't you think, Magnus? You and Nina have been the best of friends since you were both babies, Flint says. No, they forced us to be friends. Our mother's planning constant playdates every day, and if she was my best friend, she wouldn't be getting me into trouble every single day. Nina no longer exists to me, I snarl. Flint and Josie flinch and give each other a sad look. You are welcome to join us as well, just not Nina. Flint and Josie hesitate at first, but decide to follow us, as May grabs my hand with a smile and drags me towards the trees. Come on, guys, let's see who can climb to the top first, she giggles. Sorry, Flint and Josie say to Nina. We want to go with them too. Nina looks down at her feet to hide the rogue tear sliding down her cheek. We race towards the trees, and I'm the first to arrive with May. Moments later, Flint, Josie, Trixie, and Zach arrive. I could sense Nina watching us play from a distance, but I completely ignore her. Gripping onto branches one after another, I'm the first to reach the top of the tree. May climbs the same tree and sits next to me on the top branch. Flint, Josie, Trixie, and Zach shuffle along the huge, thick tree branches and make themselves comfortable as we all admire the view of Shadow Crest. We're so lucky to live here, Josie says. I couldn't agree with her more. A forest of trees surrounds Shadow Crest with mountains in the distance. The buildings and houses are the Victorian styles with steeply pitched roofs, painted iron railings, and large porches. I look over at the Packhouse mansion. Excitement fills me for the day I become alpha, but I can't help but feel something is missing. It's digging at my heart and soul, eating me away inside. I've never had this feeling before. "Are you okay, Magnus?" May asks. I look to May, who is only 1 year younger than Nina, and, unlike Nina's brown doe-like eyes, May's are blue. The rest of her features are like Nina's, except May's hair is much shorter. "Yeah, I'm fine. Why do you ask?" "Well, you seem to be lost in thought and look sad." "Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about things. I know we have spoken little before today, but if you ever want to talk about anything, you can always talk to me," she says in a hopeful tone. "Thanks, May. I'm sure one day I will open up my thoughts to you," I smile. May blushes and casually looks away. "Last one down is a rotten egg," Zach yells. We all quickly swing down and drop from one branch to the next. "I won," I smirk. "You only won because Nina isn't here. We all know she is the fastest of all of us," Josie poots. "If you mention her name to me again, Josie, then you can join Nina and become non-existent to me too." Josie has a hurt look on her face and steps back while Flint glares at me. "Let's go to Shadow Lake for a swim before we go back to the Packhouse," Trixie suggests. I nod in approval and head towards the lake. With May by my side, Trixie approaches and walks by my other side. Unbeknownst to me, they glare at each other behind my back. We arrive at the lake. I pull my shirt off, then my socks and shoes, and dive right into the cool water. Zach and Flint join me in the deep end, while May and Josie roll up the legs of their pants and stay in the shallow area. "I knew we were going to come here," she smiles and removes her shirt and pants. She is wearing her bathers underneath and swims over to join us. We duck under the water and hold our breaths for as long as we can. Zach and Trixie are the first to swim back up for air, followed by Flint. Feeling like I'm not enjoying myself as much as I usually would, I decided to swim away from them and hide behind a large boulder in the lake. I pull myself up for air and peek over the top of the boulder, watching Zach, Trixie, and Flint waiting for me to swim back up. Their faces change to that of worry as they think I'm still down there. "Magnus?" Flint says. They all look at each other and nod. Holding their breaths, they duck back down for a few moments while I stay behind the boulder. I look over at May and Josie, who are both oblivious to my joke. Trixie swims back to the surface for air and looks around in circles, confused about where I could be. Then Zach and Flint swim to the surface in panic. "Magnus!" they yell, grabbing May and Josie's attention. "We can't find him. You don't think he drowned, do you?" Trixie asks. They all panic. May and Trixie cry. Nina sprints out from the bushes and dives into the lake with great speed. "Magnus," she screams each time she comes up for breath, frantic, with tears pooling in her eyes. I can't contain my laughter any longer. I lift myself onto the boulder in hysterics. "Magnus, that was not funny," Flint yells. "That was mean, Magnus. We thought you had drowned," Trixie cries. "Not cool, Magnus," Zach growls. "Come on, guys, don't be like that." I swim to the shore to where May and Josie are. As soon as I step onto the grass, I can't help but sense someone is behind me. I look to see tiny little Nina glaring up at me with her hands on her hips and tears streaming down her cheeks. "Don't be like that. Are you serious, Magnus? We thought you had drowned." "I thought you had drowned, and all you can say is don't be like that?" "I thought you were dead," she says, hitting my chest over and over. I have that strange feeling come over me again, eating at my inner conscience, my inner soul. I look over at Zach, Flint, and Trixie, who are making their way out of the lake. "We better get back home before Mum sends the warriors out looking for us," I say, treating Nina as if she was a ghost I couldn't see or hear. Everyone looks at her with sympathy. I don't know why. No one ever looked at me that way when she had played her stupid pranks on me. We walk back to the Packhouse, while Nina follows us slowly in the distance behind us. As soon as we arrive at the Packhouse, I freshen myself up and join my parents for dinner with the rest of the Packhouse. Nina sits in her usual seat and tries to make eye contact. I pay her no attention and watch her shoulders drop out of the corner of my eyes. "Bed early tonight, kids. The weekend is over and you have school tomorrow," my mother says. We all moan and grizzle except for Nina, who stays silent. "Is everything okay, sweetie?" Leon asks Nina. She shrugs and stays silent as she pushes the food on her plate around with her fork. What did you get up to today? Amelia asks. She looks up at me for a moment, but I keep myself busy eating my dinner. I climbed trees and swam at the lake with the others, Mum. Sounds like you had a fun time. Yeah, fun, she mumbles.